Hello everyone, welcome back to another tomato sauce stream. Today we're going to be looking at the new box because we have obviously had the entire thing revealed. We're going to be talking about it, we're going to be building some decks, talking about the ways that we could potentially like theory craft a list, see what we're thinking about. We also want to talk a little bit about some of the other bits and bobs that have been going on because we do have Worlds coming up in just 1 week. And about how it feels a bit weird to get a new box right before Worlds instead of right after Worlds. I don't know. It feels like, oh, exciting, new box, new decks, let's all play with this. And then like 5 days later, it's like now watch people play the old format really well. It's like, I don't know, man. It just, I don't know. It feels a bit weird. It does feel a bit weird to me. It does feel a little bit weird to me. Beyond that, we do also have a couple of other little things to touch on. There is a new Chronicles out, I believe, so we're gonna watch that because we don't, we caught up with Chronicles and now we're like kind of behind again. Then there's also a couple of other like little bits and bobs, like we're gonna maybe do like a tier listy type thing, but we'll have to see how that goes. And then we'll finish up with everyone's favorite reverse masochist. But first things first, let's see who we have in the chat. So we have Darth Victor, who I believe said he had to leave, so hello and goodbye, Victor. We have a human Portuguese dub fan. Where's the Jointech cards, Konami? They're coming, right? They're in the mail, right? They will be here eventually, right? They can't give us all the really cool stuff immediately, otherwise we have nothing to look forward to, right? So if they gave us all the Jointech stuff right now, like if they gave us like the Jointech Hero, for example, we would be so happy with that there'd be nothing they could possibly release in the future that would possibly come anywhere close to that, right? So they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. It's the carrot and stick, right? So hello, human Portuguese dub fan. We have Kim Friend in the chat. The end of Duel Links tomorrow. As always, our favourite Doom poster, Kim Friend. Always a happy there. Always a pleasure to see you, Kim Friend. Are they going to replace it with a Chronicles anime, RPG, or fighting game? I mean, they absolutely could. I don't know why they would, but they absolutely could. We have the Dr. Alex in the chat. Hello, hello. And is that a Hikari I see in the chat? Let's give an exclamation mark Hikari to give a shout out to one of the best Rush streamers that we have. So me and Hikari, we have quite a lot in common, right? We're both from Europe. We both stream Duel Links. We both really like Rush. And we also both just lost a war in the Rush Duel Team Wars. So, not great, but it is what it is. We have Zaki Boys. Woman set. Zaki Boys being weird again. Hello, Zaki Boys. We have United for Eternity. You speak my language. Konami Jointechs are mid-month box or we riot. I would really like to. I would really like to see Jointechs come out. But then again, I want like everything to come out. I think it's a fine line to walk where you want all of the really cool shit to come out without repeating the same mistakes we made in OCG. So for example, a lot of the time in OCG, I think the meta's been pretty good. But like, we only just came away from a tier 0 Harpy meta, and I'm like, I don't want that in Duel Links, right? We don't want that, like, ridiculousness. Where it, like, because again, it's OCG, so it's not like, they had an OP skill, and that OP skill made them broken. No, the cards were just overpowered as shit, right? So it's like, don't do that, right? Just don't do that. If those cards come, pre-limit them. Don't give me that bullshit, right? Just everything balanced-ish. It's never going to be balanced, but balanced-ish. That's what we're kind of hoping for. We have Gelato Gaga. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. We have Serena in the chat. Hello, Serena. Getting Jointech support is like waiting for Shiny City Knights to be unlimited. It's not happening. Is Shining City Knights still limited? I remember they unlimited a bunch of stuff. Was Shining City Knights one of the ones that they just left? Like, I genuinely... It's genuinely still limited. That's so weird. I mean, what else could be? Like, realistically, Thunder Gazelle, like, I get the reasoning as to why you might want to keep a generic body that can give piercing to stuff limit 3. I don't agree with it, but I understand it, right? Why are we still limiting Shining City Knights? Like, a field spell that gives 200 attack to light monsters would break everything. It's like, because you're not playing that over literally any other limit 3. I think that's definitely the weirdest one on there. Like, I think everything else on that list you can make an argument for. Like, before the meme was, oh, Dragius 2700 OP, but like, I don't know. Why is OG Cyber Dragon still limit 3? Well, Cyber Dragon is still like generically good, right? So like, there's stuff you can do with Cyber Dragon, and I think they are wary of people just like playing a Cyber Dragon package in other decks, which like, again, I get it, because Cyber Dragon is still a really good deck. So, I mean, a little bit off topic and a little bit of like, you know, self-glazing, but we just had Mono's OCG tournament where I won with Cyber Dragon, right? So it's one of those weird things where it is a lot harder, I feel, to slap a limit on something later than to release it pre-hit for problems you foresee way in the future. It's like Yami Ruler probably doesn't need to be limited, right? Bluetooth or Blue Fang doesn't really need to be limited, but they're like, right? There was a bit in the OCG where this stuff was overpowered. So to make sure we don't have to double back and limit 3 this later, because that would be a massive issue, because people will be like, don't limit 3, my box you are. To just avoid that, they're like, we're just going to pre-limit this shit. So if anything does happen, it's already limited. And if we get past that hurdle and nothing bad happens, we could just unlimit it then, right? Which is like a weird philosophy. Like, I understand it. I don't agree with it. That's kind of the way I look at it, right? What else do we have going on here? We have Marata in the chat. Tomato, can you explain the Supreme Machine Burning Overlord to me? I mean, I can. He's a guy. He's got attack. He can't be destroyed by card effects. The way to, like, use it is, like, it's like the backup plan, I guess, is the way to think of it. I don't really think it's a good card in that if you're playing the maximum strategy, he's, like, maybe an okay, like, roadblock to be like, well, I don't have the maximum this turn. I guess I'll put this on the board, and he can declare an attack. He can maybe clear a threat. He's got a little bit of destruction prevention, so he might stick around, even though there's not really much destruction going around at the moment. It's a weird one. I feel like in an ideal world, you just wouldn't play him. But, like, it depends, like, how bad... Because we haven't got a new maximum skill, and we have to rely on the old one. The old skill's quite slow, so depending on how slow the deck is, you might just need something to, like, exist on the board. It's not... Again, I don't think it's great, realistically. I do not think it's great, realistically. Thought I'm back, I got food. Welcome back, Victor. Don't remind me. Fully with digital just sub. Tomato sub. Hello, Griffin. Welcome on in, Griffin Blaze. Yeah, Griffin, I enjoyed watching your games specifically in the war, Griffin. I think your games are really, really fun to watch. So it's a shame, obviously, you know, we didn't get to see more of it. But I think your games were really, really fun. But welcome on in. Free Santa? No. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I don't think that's a good idea, you know, realistically. We have Konami are keeping pre-limited for when Prime arrives. Prime Shiba loves field spells. He doesn't need that field spell specifically, right, does he? Good. Hello, Tomato in chat. Hello, Rarity. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a great day, Rarity. Papa's saying hi. Either that or he wants my burger. Probably the second. Probably the latter, but you never know. What I don't understand is why it says he has no tribute control on maximum, that maximums take all 3. So I'm sure someone's already explained this in the chat. I haven't read it yet. But maximum monsters are just all of the pieces, right? It's only a maximum monster in maximum mode that would not make sense, right? So just the side pieces or the middle piece are just maximum monsters. And then if it specifically has... You know, if it's in maximum mode, it would be like, you need a maximum monster in maximum mode to get the bonus effect, right? But this one's just any maximum monster. The pieces solo also count as maximum. Yeah, exactly what Human Portuguese said. I gotta go soon because I need to focus on stuff. I see. I just woke up, but so far good. Gotta log on to get Tiger. Her level up rewards are what I expected. Yeah, there's nothing like crazy in Tiger's unlock stuff. Like, it's like fine. Like realistically, I feel like the Trumper Tiger stuff is like, I don't know, like free to play / just like a weird other way to build the deck that's not going to be very good. The spell card is kind of a bit eh. And then obviously 2100 vanilla is also just whatever, right? So like the cards themselves are not super exciting, unfortunately, but you know, it is what it is. But we should head over and start looking at some of this new stuff. So obviously we do have this new box. And new box is exciting, right? We got the Supreme Machine Burning Overlord that Murata was just talking about. Again, I don't like this card. This card has so many things wrong with it that I really don't like. As I was saying before, I think the only reason you play this card is if the deck is so slow, you're very inconsistent at actually sticking a maximum, and you need just to put something on the board so you don't just die. But that in itself isn't a great thing. That's like, my deck is bad, so now I need to do something so that I don't just automatically lose every single game except when I, like, sack, right? I don't know. I don't like this card at all. I think it's really weird that he's the face of the box as well. Like, there are so many interesting cards. Like, you could have had V-Friend as the face of the box. You could have had Divine Breath as the face of the box. I don't know. Burning Overlord's just weird. Like, you could have had B-Steam Magnum Overlord as the face. But I guess it's because it's an SR. They're like, nah, let's not do that. I don't know. It's weird. Very strange. Very strange. Then we have V-Friend. V-Friend is cool. We did predict this. And guess what? It's coming. This card is neat. The issue I foresee with this is I think it's going to be very luck dependent as to whether or not you can just dump all 5 of these band members in the graveyard. Like, very, very early. I feel like you really want these all in the grave, like turn 1 or turn 2. Or else you're going to find yourself in a weird spot. You're going to have to really rely on trap cards to keep you up whilst you're setting this up. It also has 0 defense, which feels really, really bad. I want V-Friend to be good. I really want this card to be good. But I am not convinced by it. Let's put it that way. Sidra is the Rush version of Sky Striker, getting like 1 or 2 support cards across multiple boxes. I mean, basically, right? It basically is, right? Any of the Chase archetypes they're going to do that with. Like, Hero is kind of the same as well. They have it. They have an R card as a cover. I mean, they'd be fun. I don't know which R card we're talking about. Like, I can't really think of the boxes, to be honest. I mean, I can look them up, right? Let's have a look. So I wouldn't be surprised if every box was a UR. But, I mean, we can take a quick gander, right? Like, UR, 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 UR. I'm trying to think now. UR. I'm pretty sure all of these are just URs, right? Alright. Okay, Excavator is a weird one because it's a maximum piece, but, like, the head is over on the side, right? So, I think we kind of count this as an R, right? But it's because the face is on the side, so I don't know if we really consider that. Like, when it's in maximum mode, it's going to be a UR monster, right? So it's a weird one. It is definitely a weird one. Jointech legit has had like 1 to 2 cards in so many boxes. Yeah, I mean, Jointech is like, it's a really weird deck in general, in that it doesn't really have a coherent strategy, just at all. Like what does the Jointech deck do, right? Its initial boss, which usually the first boss kind of like speaks as to what the deck's going to be built around. It pops a back row, and that's the most like generic thing you could possibly be, right? And then like its other bosses pop monsters, change monsters to defense mode. Like, they just kind of do a little bit of everything. And then they pivot into like a fusion deck that uses Power Bond, and then they have the Jointech hero stuff that's just like summoning more guys and gaining attack power. I don't know. The Jointech deck just feels like it has no coherent strategy. It just kind of does whatever it wants, and it's a really weird deck. But I've always really liked it. I've always really liked all of those different like aesthetics of the card. I really like Jointech hero. I think is one of my favorite cards. Full stop. That card is just so much fun. Excavation box, it's in our card. Release the Monarch, open the gate, let the Emperor in. I don't think that's a good idea, Mono. Did I? I can't remember if I did a exclamation mark Mono. I did! I did set up exclamation mark Mono. Exclamation mark Mono in the chat. Check out MonoSync, the host of RDL Weekly and EDO Rush Weekly, caster of many other tournaments. Horde. That's meant to be horse, but that's now Horde. So that's like, that's going to be like the World of Warcraft faction, the Horde. He's a Horde girl breeder and Shadowverse grinder. So that's very important, right? That's just who Mono is now. We've assigned him that identity. Is it yapping time? Yes, it is, Whistling Bird. Welcome on in. I think Jointech needs more fusions. I mean, they have 2. I mean, they get a maximum as well, right? So it's not like they're starved for stuff. It's just their maximum is also a bit naff. Maybe a ritual. Oh, don't get too ahead of yourselves there. Typo is Mono Command. That's perfect. That's how it's meant to be. Don't worry about it. Yes, I will be owning some Horse Girl Horde soon. Excellent, excellent. That is the way it should be. Monarchs are really cool. I love to make my opponent destroying that own field. I don't really like Monarchs. Monarchs don't, like, aesthetically, they do nothing for me. They're just, like, guys. And then their effects, I also am not super enamored with. Like, they're like, fine, but, like, Like, there's nothing there for me, right? So, like, never been a huge fan. They're guys. They're just guys, like, in armor. If it's even armor. I don't even know if there is armor. It might just be their bodies are just like that. Like, I don't know. They're just weird. There's a lady in the OCG Monarch. There we go. We saved the archetype. That's all we needed. That's all we needed. Power Bond is safe to release since we Shiny Shady. I don't think that's true, though. Right. So what you're saying is, now that we have a way to potentially stop getting OTK'd, release the floodgates on every single big OTK thing in the game, right? That's effectively what we're saying. The issue is that sometimes you won't draw your trap cards, and you'll just die to getting OTK'd, which is still not a great thing. As well as, we have back row hate, so you could just get your back row popped, and then die to the OTK, and that will also feel like shit. Not to mention that not only do we have a lot of cards that, you know, are effectively OTK machines, but there are also a lot of cards that enable OTK machines, right? Jinzo is going to have to come out at some point, and then if you go Tribute Summon Jinzo, activate Power Bond, fuck you, it's like, that's not great. That's going to feel awful. Because we kind of already have that in OCG to a certain extent. But again, because we don't have the skills, we have 10 more cards in the deck, we don't have, you know, the 6,000 life points, it's not as bad, right? It's very awkward. It's very awkward. It's a fine line to walk of, like, OTKs should exist, but be difficult to pull off. And then OTKs are too easy. There are way too many ways to, like, just get them off, and we don't have enough ways to protect ourselves, right? They have big-ass thrones. I mean, that's fine. They're geezers with helmets. Release Power Bond and Arc Scorpio. Unlimited Power Bond and Killer Stinger join. Tier 0 Join Tech Annihilation is the only way. So, the way I would do it, personally, if I wanted to bring Power Bond into the game, I would attach it to a skill, rather than actually release it as a card, to specifically say, alright, like Cyber Dragon, no. You're not allowed this, because there are some silly things you can do. But, Join Tech, you're kind of bad. You can have Power Bond, that's fine. The only other way to do that would be to give Cyber Dragon like a limit 1, puts like Power Bond to limit 1, but then you'd have to have something that is so important to Cyber Dragon that they couldn't function without it at limit 1, right? And it's not easy to pick a card like that, right? Unleash Jinzo. I mean, Jinzo has to come eventually, right? He has an entire archetype built around him, so he's got to come out eventually, surely. Because it's not just Jinzo, though, right? We have Heavy Storm, we have Harpy's Feather Duster, we have Giant Trunade. There are so many of these cards. We already have one of the better back row disablers as well in the Boltracorn. So currently we only have a single copy, so it's not the end of the world. If we had 3 copies of Boltracorn and 3 copies of Barrage of Steel, or Iron Onslaught. I forget which one's the Japanese name, which one's the English name. But if we had, like, that, and then like Power Bond plus just in a Cyber Dragon deck, that's ridiculous, right? You could just go like summon, turn off back row, activate 2 more back row hate in case you've got 3 back row entirely, drop Power Bond, GG, right? Like that is an not too far-fetched thing you could do, because I can do that in OCG, right? So it's like it's not ridiculous to consider that. Tomato, stop making good arguments. I want my Joint Tech Fusions. Again, I think Joint Tech Fusions are fine, but give Power Bond in the skill. The skill adds Power Bond to your deck. The skill adds Power Bond to your hand. The skill adds it to the graveyard. Wherever you need it to be to make the fusions work. I think that would be fine, personally. I agree, Tomato. Excellent. Jinzo, the most obvious bundle card ever. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Dark Hole for Dark Galaxy, we need. It's another one, though, where Dark Hole Device already proved to be somewhat too powerful. And then had to get Limit 1'd. If we release Dark Hole as a regular-ass card, it creates an issue of now every deck can have it. So now you go back to the, are we making a skill for Dark Galaxy that creates Dark Hole? And then we have to consider the fact that if we're doing that, well then Dark Galaxy now has Dark Hole and Dark Hole Device. Potentially, even if we could even like unlimit Dark Hole Device, right? So they could have 3 Dark Hole Device and a Dark Hole, which is like just so much in it. Again, fundamentally, I think the issue is always going to go back to 6,000 life points. 6,000 life points really messes with a lot of these cards and the way that they were designed. Because in a lot of ways, we have lots of ways to get a lot of damage in. And having like multi-attack piercing on things like Chrysaor is really, really good in general, let alone when your opponent only has 6,000 life points. Because now it turns into an OTK, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. Yes, I think it's fair. Well, I think Hikari might be a little bit biased. I think there might be just a little bit of bias going on there. I dare you to Dark Hole me. Go Sunset Rebirth. Well, that's the thing, because that is the other thing they could do. They could release a lot more destruction cards in a same box. They release a whole bunch of protection cards, right? But it's like, it creates weird situations again. Because Sunset Rebirth, for all intents and purposes, is a very stooly card, right? Sunset Rebirth cheats out a guy in defense. It can cheat it from your hand or your graveyard, and it protects you from being destroyed. It is a defensive protection style card that's designed to try and weather the storm, which is effectively stalling. It's not quite stalling. It's not like it's stall adjacent, I guess is the way to think of it. And it does very much feel like Konami's been very like, you stalling? You stalling? No, we're gonna ban that card. We're gonna limit this one. You trying to mill people with Santa? We'll get rid of that shit. You trying to Yami ruler stall? Nope, limit 3. The floodgate effect on the fusion? Nope, not having that. Not having that whatsoever. It's actually sort of a miracle that we're getting Supreme Beast Team not limited. I actually think that is sort of crazy, because this is effectively another floodgate that, I guess it doesn't slow the game down because it's a potential like 5k piercer, so it's going to end the game relatively quickly, so maybe that doesn't matter. That's what I always see. I always see Konami making changes and limits and everything on making sure the game ends quickly. That seems to be like Konami's key guiding principle. Join Tech can play Dark Hole well. Kill back row, use skill, attack with 1 tribute bosses, +1 monster free. I mean, it would be really good. For Dark Hole, make a skill where you put it in the grave when you fusion summon, and we're good from outside of the deck, so Apocalypse can get it back, and that's all. I actually do quite like that. The only thing to bring up there is then it just comes back to back when Dark Galaxy had access to 2 copies of Dark Hole Device. They were very strong. Now, they still weren't like Galaxy strong, but they were like the 2nd strongest deck in the game, and it was very frustrating to play against it because we didn't have any way to protect yourself, right? Your opponent just goes, I've drawn the combo, and you go, I don't have a Legend Trap, I guess I'm dead, right? And that wasn't super engaging. But we do have Shady now, and Shady does change things a little bit. But the question becomes, is Shady enough to warrant giving Dark Galaxy back basically full power? Because the other thing is, you still had to find your Dark Hole Device in order to get things going. If you have a skill that throws Dark Hole in the graveyard, you've now made that puzzle easier. Right now, you just need to get the fusion pieces, make it, So what you're basically saying is if you find Fusion plus Pale Rider plus Prophet, you just get a 3500 guy out and wipe your opponent's board of monsters. But again, is that fine? Because your opponent could just have a Shady, and then it doesn't matter that your 3-card combo could theoretically just end the game. We have Shady now, so maybe a bit better now. I mean, yeah, that's the takeaway, right? The only real downside is that Apocalypse also has 2500 attack, which means if you Shady it, you don't heal. And that also just feels really bad. Like, I almost wish that Apocalypse just had 300 more attack, just so I could get that heal. Apocalypse go burr. I mean, basically, right? But that's the issue is the Dark Galaxy Fusion deck is actually really fun. It is really fun to play. It just sucks to play against if they just high roll you and you die. But like even without playing like Apocalypse, still doing the combo of like ending on Protostar, Theogonia, Chrysaor is still really fun and can still be really good. It's just not good enough in the current metagame, right? Could Konami make Dark Magician meta if they tried? So, alright, it depends what we mean by Dark Magician. If we're talking about, like, the Dark Magician archetype, yeah, we're going to get a card eventually called Obsidian Magical Sorcerer? Or what? Obsidian Magical something. And that card is actually kind of busted. It completely terrorized the OCG meta for a while. But those decks didn't tend to actually play Dark Magician. The most play Dark Magician has been seeing is in, like, the Gaia Chaos Ritual decks. But even that is a bit of a meme, because you don't need to play it. You can just summon out Black Magician of Chaos, because Black Magician of Chaos counts as Dark Magician 1 in the graveyard. And all you need is to have a Dark Magician in the graveyard, so it doesn't really matter. But, yeah. So, depending on what you consider Dark Magician meta, kind of. But at the same time, at any point, since they released Thousand Knives, they could have just unlimited Thousand Knives and then let us see what a Dark Magician with 3 monster pops would look like. Because it could have been pretty good. We're getting kind of to the point now where we're like, I don't think Dark Magician with 3,000 Knives is going to do anything. But it could have done before, and they just decided not to, which is a bit of a shame. But it is what it is. But yeah, V-Friend, I don't think is going to be great. I do hope it's somewhat good. Cyber Tactical, Cyber Tactical, I think, is going to be, like... If your opponent has a very specific board, you can, like... Cyber Assault, pop a monster, Cyber Tactical, pop a monster, attack, kill, right? But it's not fantastic, unfortunately. This card was never, like, crazy good, which is a bit of a shame. I do think, though, that the Wind Warriors are going to be really good. Being able to get, like, potentially, like, 6k piercing. Being able to use Trombo to play around Shady can be, like, really, really strong. Geist, I don't think is realistically doing anything. Ordo is a really interesting card, and this could really mess with some decks. Just having a card that's generic enough that you can mess with your opponent's graveyard can be really, really good. So, like, even if you're playing against, you know, Wind Warriors, you could start just shuffling their Wind Warriors back into the deck. Don't forget, they need 5 in graveyard just to use the ballet anyway, as well as you can get rid of the specific fusion material, and that hurts them even more, right? So there is a lot of stuff there. Prince's Battle Ballet, I think this card is going to be really strong. I really do see the Wind Warriors as being a really strong deck. We'll have to see how that goes. I think Destruction of the Universe, I think a lot of people are sleeping on this. I don't think this card is going to see widespread play. Like, I don't think that. I don't think this is going to be like an auto-include in every deck. I think, though, there will be a couple of different decks that can play this to great effect. And especially, you can set it and then just not use it, right? You can just have it set there. And especially if you have a skill that can get rid of it in case you don't need it, that's fine. But, like, if your opponent doesn't have back row, or you've already, you know, summoned monsters and you felt what your opponent's back row is, and your opponent just comes at you haphazardly, you can use Destruction of the Universe to rip their board apart and then kill them on the crackback, which can be really, really good. Why did that ballet deserve a limit 3 but not shiny? Well, so the whole point of releasing shiny was that they wanted every single deck to play it. That was the whole point of it. The difference with Battle Ballet is this is only going to see play in Wind Warriors, maybe some hero builds, if you're, like, really cooking. And they don't want this specific deck to have access to other limit 3s, right? That's the logic. Now, again, they could, if they want to, after Worlds, limit Shady. If they want to. But the whole point of releasing it was Everyone's just getting OTK'd. Quick, throw this trap that everyone can play at multiple copies, and then people will stop getting OTK'd and stop complaining about getting OTK'd, right? Is that Big Man Neo in the chat? Hello, hello. If Shiny Shady was limit 3, it wouldn't really do anything. Same as it with Riding when it came out. Well, right, so let's do a hypothetical, right? If Shiny Shady was limit 3 on release, you would probably not play it in Galaxy because you'd have to start cutting your secret orders, and secret orders can be very, very integral to the strategy, right? So you probably don't play in Galaxy. Heroes, it would eat into Star Restart, which is actually a really important tool for Heroes. So, like, maybe you go down to 2 Star Restart and play the 1, but, like, it's still very awkward to fit it in. Then, like, Spellcasters, you'd cut Ghost Cyclone. I think Spellcasters would be fine without Ghost Cyclone. Like, realistically, they can play Ghost Cyclone, and it's a really good tool, but they don't need it. So, like, they could probably just get rid of it and be fine. So, Spellcasters would probably, like, gain the most benefit from it. And then you go into, like, some of the other decks, like Red Boot, which is kind of on the periphery. I mean, what limit 3s do Red Boot play? They don't really play any, right? So, Red Boot would get a massive buff from having, you know, as in being one of the few decks that can play it without really having to change anything. Jointech play limit 3s? Someone have to tell. Oh, Bluetooth. So you say Bluetooth, but a lot of decks, a lot of players that have been playing Red Boot have started cutting the Bluetooth. So it's not that big of a deal. So there's this weird, like, dichotomy, right? Which is having Bluetooth in the deck means your skill is live more often. That means you can do things, right? But on the flip side, doing Bluetooth things is usually not a huge deal. Usually it's not going to be, like, game determinative. So some players started cutting Bluetooth. Some players still run it. I don't think there is an objectively correct answer. I think it just comes down to, like, are you all-inning Red Boot Enhanced, or are we playing, like, oh, the deck can do the Red Boot play, but it can also do the Bluetooth line and play, like, kind of a mid-range strategy, right? Same as it was with Riding when it came out. Yeah. I mean, basically, right? Is that Gunkin Susip Shari in the chat? Hello, hello. Is Destruction of Universe worth going into the box for? I don't think I would recommend going in the box just for this card, but I think the cards in this box worth going for is, I think the Music Princesses stuff is going to be good, just straight up. I think it's going to be good. I think the maximum support stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if this got a reprint, but it might not get a reprint for a while. And as we do go on and get more maximum decks, which theoretically shouldn't be too far away, you're really going to want something like Heavenly Gift. Like, if you're planning to play, like, Phase's Sea Serpents, assuming this doesn't get a reprint right around then, this card's going to be really, really important. So I think this is going to be a good one to grab. Again, if you hate maximum decks and you really don't want to play the Wind Warriors, there's probably not a lot in here for you, realistically. Like, Cyber Serpent is a fantastic card. I saw someone saying that Cyber Serpent was just, like, complete garbage. And I'm like, this card... First off, I won Mono's tournament the other day with 3 copies of this card in my deck. Second, this card won a Galaxy Cup, which is the, like, Rushdall Regional Championships is the way to think of it. Again, a Cyber Dragon player won, playing 3 copies of Cyber Serpent. Cyber Serpent is, like, a fantastic card. Milling cards on top of your deck is great. If you get the free plus, it's also absolutely fantastic. The only downside is its stats are awful, right? Other than that, this card is fantastic in, like, every way. And I genuinely was, like... I was taken aback at how someone could say this card was just flat out awful. I'm like, what are we talking about? What? Like, even if you think this card isn't very good, how could you say it's, like, awful? How could you say this card is, like, genuinely bad? I'm like, at the very worst, I think someone would be like, I don't think it's that great. It would still be a fine card, even if you don't think it's good. I don't know, it's weird. It was weird. Hello, hello, by the way. Music Princess would have no access to Shady. Very correct, because they would be playing their limit 3 spell card. That trap just setting there menacingly. Oh yeah, that's the way it goes. What other traps do you think would be like Shady in slowing down the meta? I mean, there's plenty of traps that would slow down the meta, right? New Start would be a really big one. Sunset Rebirth would be a really big one. The problem is it's like we're thinking about like generic cards. Like another one that would slow down the meta for sure is the Mirror Force. What's it called? I always forget because there's so many. Is it Radiant Mirror Force? The one that isn't a legend. This one. Yeah, Radiant Mirror Force. I mean, if this card was in the meta, how many times would people just not put 3 monsters in attack position? They'd be like, I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna put two monsters on the field. I'm not putting 3. I might lose my whole board. That would suck. But then there's lots of other like type specific trap cards that we just haven't got. So like there's loads of those. There's like a psychic specific one. There's like a Jamp trap, which is really good. There's like the battle demotion trap for machines. That card's really good. Like there's just so many. There's so many. Only thing spellcasters need is severe nerfing. I mean, that's the thing though. Spellcasters haven't been super great. I mean, like if we jump over to here, like spellcasters are here, right? 23.2% of top 4 finishes. Like Light Galaxy and Hero are dominating them in terms of like tournament performance. The issue is it's just so widespread on the ladder that spellcasters feels more oppressive than it is. Because like Light Galaxy and Hero are they are just flat out stronger decks. So it's like it feels really weird to nerf spellcasters without nerfing the 2 decks above it, I guess is my point. Jointek has no limit 3s. Excellent. Hello, Mr. Tomato. Hello, chat. New box hype. Hello, Sakadetsu. Yeah, we're just going over the new box you're talking about at the moment. Serpent unfortunately does kind of do nothing for Cyber Dragon, at least currently. The card is very good. The thing is, Cyber Serpent, the whole gimmick of this card is just to get a free plus, right? So you can like summon this out, get the plus, and then tribute over it. But like we're saying, we don't have the good cards to tribute over this. Like what we'd really want is like Cyber Dragon Briquette, which would be like a really good one because that's a card that you have to tribute summon out, and you tribute summon it for 1 tribute by tributing a light monster. Like right now it's like tribute summon a Cyber Dragon or a Processor, which you don't need to tribute summon either of those, so it's a bit awkward. No Cyber Rush Fusion doesn't do much for Serpent. It's still good, but can't achieve its full potential. Cyber Rush Fusion doesn't do much for Serpent. Cyber Rush Fusion doesn't do much for Serpent. I'm trying to break this down. But the spell card... Cyber Rush Fusion. This card doesn't do much for Serpent. I mean, even if we invert the statement to Cyber Serpent doesn't do much for Cyber Rush Fusion, I still think it's incorrect. Like, these cards are just fantastic. Cyber Serpent's great in a Cyber Rush Fusion deck, and Cyber Rush Fusion is good for that as well. Cyber Rush Fusion in the game doesn't help Serpent to get the best out of its effect. I mean, right, so at that point, if you had that spell card in the game, Cyber Serpent's effect is there to dig for Cyber Rush Fusion, right? Now, in the ideal world, you'll have access to the Chimera Tech fusions, right? And if you have the Chimera Tech fusions, all you need is a Cyber Dragon in the graveyard, and then it doesn't matter what you have on the field. So you could summon out Cyber Serpent, summon out another monster, which could, again, it could be a Cyber Dragon, it could be anything else. Then use Cyber Serpent's effect to get that draw, and then just fuse it off, and it's still fine. Because there's a lot of situations where you like are really desperate to find either Cyber Rush Fusion, or you're really desperate to find a Cyber Dragon, or you're really desperate to find a card to deal with your opponent's back row, which, you know, in OCG right now, that'd be like Jinzo, that'd be like Giant Trunade, right? Tomato angry is very scary, please don't shout. Listen, it's my stream, I'll shout if I want, Murata. Rah, 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 rah. New Start? I mean, New Start's really strong. It's really strong. Hello, Victor. But yeah, overall, I think, you know, this card's good. Is it going to be good right now? Do I want to pick 3 copies up? Yeah. I mean, it's one of the issues that Cyber Dragon had originally when we got the new wave of support for it. We got Processor. Was we were like, well, the deck still doesn't plus. Well, this does plus. So you could go like Cyber Serpent, summon out Processor, Cyber Processor effect, send Serpent to the graveyard, bring back a Cyber Dragon, fuse, and you've gotten a 3+1. All of that seems pretty good to me. I don't know. So like even now, I think Serpent could be decent. I just don't think Serpent and Tactical are the 2 cards that on their own are going to make Cyber Dragon suddenly really good. That's the thing. Is that Toti I see in the chat? Hello, hello, Toti. It pluses, but like the deck doesn't do enough. I mean, it depends what we're saying, right? Are we saying like in comparison to like Light Galaxy, the deck doesn't do enough? Because the deck can summon out like 2800 double attacker. That in itself is pretty good. Or anything for that matter, really? I don't know. I don't think I agree with that statement. I think the deck, like the Cyber Dragon deck and like what it does, is fine, right? You can still make like a 4000 piercing guy. You can still make like 2800 guys. The issue that it has really for me at the moment is that the skill says you can't play it with Innovator. I think if you could just play Innovator in that deck, I think that deck would just be a strong deck. Because you could quite easily, like, you know, get a couple of pluses here and there, get out an Innovator, summon it next to a Cyber Twin, summon out just, like, a body, and then, like, get a big piercing hit in, get a 2800 direct hit in. And we have the trap cards to protect it as well. The issue is that Cyber Dragon has never really been a trap deck. Like, there's never really been builds of Cyber Dragon that play traps, because it's always been more of a combo-oriented deck. Not every Cyber Dragon card is treated as a Cyber Dragon. That's crazy. Well, some of them are, right? We're going to get Cyber Dragon Zwei eventually, which is like a really good combo piece of the deck, but it only really becomes relevant when we get the fusion spell. I think Konami wants us to play Sidra Overlord. The only problem I have with combining Cyber Dragon with Magnum Overlord is Magnum Overlord gets no benefit from playing fusion spells. So, like, it's quite a big package you'd be putting in, unless you want to just play, like, Serpent, just for the draw power, but even that's awkward, because all of the Magnum Overlords are darks. Trap cards, you say? You piqued my interest. Yeah, Cyber Dragon, like, again, just never really been a trap deck. Digisoon is fine, like, this card could be better. It could also be a lot worse. It's fine. And then Heavenly Gift is really good. I'm actually curious to see if anyone comes up with a weird deck that plays Heavenly Gift without maximums. Like, you just play, like, a bunch of... I don't know, you just, like, discard a level 8 and a level 4. And then draw 2. And you -1, but you dig through the deck. I don't know. It's a weird one. Heavenly Gift has always been a really strange card. It's the same with Selection as well. Where, like, theoretically, Selection is just another back row pop. It's just a very situational back row pop. I really don't know how... Psychic Composition, is this card going to see play? Part of me is like, you're going to be turbo milling your deck. V-Friend is probably going to end up in the graveyard at some point. So, like, being able to get it back is going to be quite nice. The issue this deck's really going to have is how are we refilling our deck so we don't just die to deck out? Now, Heavenly Gift is, like, scuffed consistency. So, Heavenly Gift is really good consistency if you've got a critical mass of level 10s. Like, because people play this, you know, in maximum decks. People play Trade-In in decks that have, like, 6 level 8 monsters. People play Ship of the 7 Treasures, which is the best one. Because Ship of 7 Treasures, you don't have to discard a 7. You just only get that bonus card if you do discard a 7, right? Can't you bin V-Friend? You cannot bin V-Friend with the skill. You cannot do that, because it has 2500 attack. Play a bunch of TSA to out maximums and, like, Avarice or something. Well, so the issue is, V-Friend itself already outs maximums, right? You don't need TSA to outer max. As well as, if you use VFriend to pop a monster, that might be... They might not have enough face-up monsters to use TSA. That's always the most annoying thing with shufflers, is when your opponent can play around them. So a big example of this is when you summon out Joint Tech Rex, sometimes your opponent just won't set back row. Because, like, if you're playing the current Joint Tech skill, you could, like, tribute over the Rex, summon something else out. Then, you know, you've made room, so now... Well, I suppose that's a bad example. But I guess, like, if you're running low on cards in your deck, you just won't play back row, because then your opponent's Joint Tech Rex can't recycle. That's kind of the point. Like, there was a very specific situation that came up yesterday in Hikari's tournament with Joint Tech Rex, but, like, it was kind of the opposite, so... But yeah, it's a weird one. It's definitely a weird one. I don't know how good Beasteam's going to be. Or Beasteam? I don't really know how to pronounce this. Beasteam? I think its name just kind of sucks. Like, Wild Gleam was so much better. Beasteam is just awful. But... I think the hard part with this is going to be getting the 10 monsters into the grave to get the piercing. And obviously just accumulating all the pieces of the maximum. Beast Steam. But it's one word, so it's not Beast Steam. It's Beasteam. Like, if it was Beast Steam, there would be 2 STs, right? That's not how you pronounce it. A Wild Gleam might have a strong start, but then quickly drop off. Yeah, that's kind of how I think. I think it'll be something you have to respect when building your deck, but I don't see it being tier 1. Yeah, I don't see... you consistently getting the maximums out. Right? Like, I kind of see it as... occasionally, you'll just draw really well and kill your opponent and murder them into the ground. And most of the time, that won't happen. Beasteam. Yo, Fusion is in the box. Yeah, how else are we going to summon Showering Seaferno and Strange Clouder? Let me come down here. Unfortunately, these are all just kind of bad. This is kind of whatever. Horn Knives is fine. But, like, Horn Knives is a card that I consider, like, the 40-card bulk, which is when you're playing a 40-card deck. Horn Knives is, like, one of those extra cards you include, because you can, and because it's, like, kind of likely to go off. I probably don't think we play this in a 30-card format. Because the card is, like, it's fine, but it's a little bit RNG. It's only got 500 attack. You don't want to get stuck on the board, so you've got to really only want to play it when you're going to be tributing it. And then everything down here is just kind of awful. Except maybe Straight Pierce. Like, maybe Straight Pierce we could do some gimmicky stuff with. Soromir is in the box. Was Music Princess meta in OCG? So, when Music Princess's Battle Ballet came out, it became a tier 1 standalone deck for, like, a couple of weeks, I guess is the way to think. Like, there were a bunch of tournaments where everyone was trying it out and it was doing really, really well. Then it sort of fell off a bit, and then people started mixing in the new hero cards with it, and Hero Music Princess became like a tier 1 strategy. So that was kind of the best it ever was when you combined it with heroes. Or Knives is fine with AV and spell tactics, I guess. Without we're doing some gambling. Yeah, I mean, like, statistically, it should be in your favor that you do just mill a monster. But you are still gambling. Show us some builds so we can see the goo for Duel Links. I'm trying to think of, like, the quickest and easiest way for me to find. Because I don't think I ever actually played the Music Princess version. Oh, give me a sec. Let's see if I can find something. Alright, what's the best way to do this? The problem is, it was quite a long time ago, which means kind of going through a bunch of older decks. Oh, let's not do that. Listen, could you stop muting my music? Realistically, I think this is probably going to take too much time to do on stream. So I think we're not going to mess around with it at the moment. We'll do it later. I think that's the best way to do it. You don't have to at house. Yeah, it's not. If I had a deck list like immediately, I would show it, but I don't have access. I'd have to go find. Look there. Go find one. So it's kind of a pain. Yeah, that's kind of it for that. Then obviously we have the Tiger event, which is out now, and you can unlock Tiger right now, guys. Go unlock Tiger. Didn't they receive support recently? So aren't they doing anything right now? Not really. I mean, we can take a quick break and take a look at this. So this is the published today. This is the current like week's breakdown of OCG decks. And if we go over here, we can take a look and see what decks are like performing, right? So the best deck without a doubt is the Black Chaos deck, which is very, very powerful. This is like Ritual Chaos. Then it's Outerverse, which is, you know, double everything else, I guess, is the way to think of it. Then Hero, which is just pure Hero. Cyber Dragon, Handy Lady, Plasmatic Model. Love, which is like a weird zero attack deck. Red Eyes. This is just like Fiend good stuff, I guess is the way to think of it. It's got like some Royal Rebel stuff in it. The Ninjas, this is like Insects, I believe. Red Eyes Flame Dragon, I don't know exactly what that is. Then Blue Eyes, and then I don't know what Crazy is. What the fuck, Lovers Meta? I mean, yeah, you got to remember that, like, it won a tournament, is what this is saying, right? So, like, it's not anything super insane. It won an event. But it is quite nice to see a decent representation across the board with only really one standout deck being Black Chaos. I got her and are leveling her up right now to get that skill. Nice. That's what we want to be seeing. Red Eyes. Yeah, Red Eyes is a really cool deck. I think people really sleep on Red Eyes. Red Eyes is actually like really fun and really strong at the moment. Handy Lady is a viable deck. So Handy Lady is a viable deck. The only issue with Handy Lady is what the deck primarily does is just spam trap cards. You just go trap, 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 trap. You go like shady, 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 new start, new start, new start, new start. You just go traps, traps, and then more traps. And then their primary boss monster isn't actually from their own archetype. Their primary boss monster, I wonder if I can find it. I can't remember what it's called is the issue. It should be in here, right? So it's a Wind Psychic Fusion. So this is their like in archetype boss monster, Handy Partners, which just spams trap cards again. Where is it? Yeah, this one. This is their like actual boss monster. So this is Bandiva Duo, the Elegy of the Wailing Winds. You make it just by using 2 level 7 Wind Psychic monsters. So you just want to get like 2 Handy Ladies and fuse them together. And this is send one of the card from your hand to the field to the graveyard. This card gains attack equal to the total number of cards in your opponent's hand and on their field times 300. Then if you have a normal monster in your graveyard, which will because Handy Lady will be in the graveyard, you can destroy 1 card in your opponent's field. And it starts out with 3600 attack. So this guy goes up to like 6000 easily. And then pops a card. And like this is like their primary boss monster because they just don't have like a really strong finisher in their own archetype. Hello, Gale Fang. Hello, hello. And Yami Kasara. Hello, hello. Red Eyes. I hope Plasmatic Model comes to Duel Links. I mean, it will eventually, right? It's just it's way too early to introduce that mechanic. That's all it is. It's a good-looking pie chart. Meta looks really good right now, excluding Chaos Ritual, but there'll always be that annoying tier 1 deck. Yeah, basically, right? Red Eyes flames the max, right? Maybe? I can't remember what his name is. Maxi Flare, but close enough. Yeah, that probably is the maximum. Handy Lady hired a minstrel. I mean, basically, right? It's a really good card, this. Like, just in general. The only thing it's lacking is, like, having, like, piercing built in. Other than that, like, this card does, like, everything you'd want a boss monster to do. Which is just really good. And it's made so generically as well. Just 2 level 7 attribute psychic type monsters, which is, like, so good. But obviously we're getting these three. These three cards are all kind of mid. I don't expect any of them to really do much of anything, to be honest. Like, Breath could see a bit of play, but like, I don't see why you would play this at the moment when we don't have a good level 6 to bring back. Like, if you're going to bring back, let's say, Boton to do a fusion, well, the skill gets you Boton anyway. And if you're like, well, I want to use the skill to get the fusion spell, it's like, well, then you could just use Star Restart. Oh, but I guess you can't use Star Restart because you've got because it's limit 3. So, maybe you play Princess Breath at like a single copy or something. I don't even think you would though. I think the spell trap room is going to be so tight. I really don't think you fit it in. And then obviously we've got these 3 skills, with Breath being the good one, quote unquote. But we also did get Avaricious Destiny Draw, which is quite nice. So we found out where we're getting the Pot of Avarice skill. Unfortunately, we don't have Progress Potter, which is a bit of a shame, but, you know, we know we're getting the Pot of Avarice skill, which is still cool. So the other thing to kind of cover is that we are getting some upcoming new cards. We're getting the Generator Boss Quest and we're getting the Generator Boss Fight, which are both pretty cool. But we're also getting a new Rush card in Twin Barrel Dragon, and Twin Barrel Dragon is actually kind of interesting. So this is actually a Dark Machine. I don't know why it says light there. But during the main phase that you normally special summon it, choose 1 card in your opponent's field, toss a coin twice, destroy it, the result is 2 heads. Now, the chance of you actually landing 2 heads aren't great. It's like 25% chance that you land 2 heads. So like, oh, there's a 1 in 4 chance that I can pop one of your cards. Neat, right? Sometimes it will land and it'll be great. But the reason you play this card isn't actually for its own effect. It's for... no, is it toss? Where is he? I'm gonna find it. He's a slot machine card. I can't remember what his name is. This guy. Slot machine PG7. This is the primary reason that in the OCG you would play this card. And it's because during the turn that you normal summon this card, add 1 monster that has a coin tossing effect from your graveyard to your hand. So if I recall correctly, this came out before Gale Vinery, so it's not going to matter too much because we have Gale, right? So Gale is going to be the best target for this now because it has a tossing coin effect. But typically you would play toss coin effect low level bodies just to get as tribute fodder. So this card isn't like fantastic. It's not great, right? But this is why people played this card. Twin Barrel, other than that, it's just going to be like a funny card where like occasionally you'll just win a duel because you just got 2 heads, right? And it's going to be so silly when it works. Progress Potter would be so nice in Befriend. Yeah, it would be so ridiculously good. Does the Join Tech skill guarantee you pop a card? Let's have a look. It's like coin through. Coin tech, that's where we're going wrong. So it can be activated during the turn that you tossed a coin. If all of the monsters are 1400 or more attacking the head, make 1 face of Earth attack if I attacking the turn. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't do anything about fixing the coin toss. Is this... Are you not allowed to post links in here, Murata? We have anti-bot protection. Unfortunately. You can't use Twin Barrel Dragon and Join Tech? Oh, that one, never mind. Yeah, this... I mean, even so, it doesn't change the coin result, right? It's just if you did toss a coin. But yeah, nothing like super crazy here. So there is something else I did want to talk about a little bit. That skill gaslighting me to thinking it breaks the conflict. I mean, there was a speed skill that did that, right? So, World Championship 2025 special set. So, I spoke to Icy Gamer about this. Because he had a really interesting theory, and I like it so much, I'm going to plug that theory. And it's something that I really want. And just to show that we always show the respect, we got to do the exclamation mark Icy, even though he's not here. So, Icy's point was, why are we getting Breaker the Magical Warrior? Right? In a meta where we have Shadow, Despia, Ancient Gear... I mean, that out of context, that one does sound a bit weird, to be fair. You know, Utopia. We got all of these like super high powerful decks in the speed meta. Why are we getting Breaker the Magical Warrior and a skill for Breaker the Magical Warrior and a bunch of like alt art Breaker the Magical? It's very strange to get these cards now because they're not going to be meta relevant. They're kind of nostalgia bait, if anything, like realistically. Like, it's very strange that we're getting this. The other thing we know is that we are getting new skins for 6 DM characters, right? So we know that whatever the update they're doing in October / like September, whenever they decided to do it, was October last year, but everything's a little bit earlier this year, so it could be earlier. We are getting something to do with DM characters getting new skins. So IC's theory was, in the Chinese version of Duel Links, they have like a separate mode where you can play like GOAT format. Now, it's not like saying we're going to get that, but they could give us some sort of lower power format where you use either older cards or the format's like just kind of different or something. Because one of the biggest complaints that Duel Links gets now is that like, oh, it's just becoming Master Duel Light, right? Oh, the game is... Like, I quit playing Yu-Gi-Oh! When the game got to a certain point. We've already gone past that point, so I've quit again in Duel Links. And just having, like, another, like, low-powered format, I think would be really fun to play. So, like, I really like the idea of that. I hated Legacy Duels, but I guess to each their own. The thing is, I also don't like Legacy Duels, the event, right? But I think the event Legacy Duels is, like, a really shit version of playing a low-power format. Because they do, like, they haphazardly just decide which cards get to come in and which cards don't. It's almost like the Master Duel events when they're like, oh, guys, well, at least at the start, right? When when Master Duel first came out and they'd be like, Xyz Festival, guys. And then everyone was like, I'm going to play True Draco and put in all of the floodgates. And it's like, that's not really in the spirit of the Xyz Festival, right? It's kind of a bit crap. And I feel like we've had that a lot with the Legacy Duels, right? In that there's been like some really weird cards, and it's just been kind of a, okay, we're probably just going to build like a good stuff deck out of just like the best stuff that's here. I mean, Breaker is a promo card with a French flag on it if you attend Worlds this year, so this is just cross-promotion stuff. Yeah, but even that's weird, isn't it, right? Like, why Breaker the Magical Warrior? Like, in TCG, why are you going to get Breaker? Plus, the big thing is, every year, they do some sort of big event, right? So, every single year, we have had a new world introduced. And with a new world, except for Dark Side of Dimensions, we have had a new mechanic introduced, right? So we had, like, you know, GX came out. I guess GX also didn't really have a new mechanic because it was just kind of fusion. And we already have fusion, but just ignore that. Everything beyond that, we had, what, Synchro Summoning introduced, Xyz introduced, Pendulum introduced, Link introduced, Rush Fusions introduced. So, like, we keep adding new mechanics most of the time. If this year comes around and all we get is like, oh, here's 6 skins for some DM characters, and that's it, that's going to be so underwhelming, because we're probably not getting a new world, right? We could get a new world. Not going to say we're not, but, like, if we don't get a new world, I would like there to be something new, right? Something interesting. And I personally think, like, a lower power format would be really fun. Personally. Because, again, I grew up playing GOAT, right? I started playing Duel Links when it came out. And, like, my skill put Dinosaur World on the board. Or Jurassic World, I think it's called. The shitty field spell that gives 300 attack. Like, back when Mako having a skill that starts with Umi on the field was considered good, right? It's, like, kind of nuts. Well, as long as we're not forced to play the alt format to farm gems, it can be fine. I mean, it would be like an optional thing to farm gems, right? That's what it would come down to. At this point, seeing the leaks, I think we're not getting a new world, not even Ancient Egypt world or OCG world. Yeah, it would be cool to get a new world, obviously, but, like, we're clearly getting something to do with reskinning DM characters. That could be a new, like, it could be, like, I don't know, filler world, right? Where we just get all the filler arcs from DM, and they just get skins from what they wore in those filler arcs. That could also be a thing, right? Surely they won't make that mistake a second time. I mean, I think it's fine, right? Because, alright, the thing is, The issue that people, I think, would have with this would be if it felt like updates slowed down again because new mode came out. I think that would be the issue. If you just got, like, just extra stuff, I think it would be fine. So it's less about having a new mode bad and more about don't implement a new mode in a way that's shit, right? They are launching a DM anime remake. So we were talking about this in Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, so Dylan's stream. And there was, like, talk about, you know, there being a DM remake and how cool that would be. And, you know, my personal love would be if they did a DM remake, but they played Rush. I think that would be awesome. Now, I know that a lot of people probably wouldn't like that, but the idea of, like, having, like, Yugi, Joey, Kaiba, and the gang all back, but they're all playing Rush duels, I think would be so good. I would love that so much. If they exclude the beginning of the manga again, I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, that's the thing. We're going into unknown territory, right? We're just going to have to see what happens, fundamentally. All we can do is speculate, and sometimes speculation is really fun. Same tomato. Yeah, it would be sick. I would love that so much. Yo, tomato. Hello, Julius Caesar. Welcome on in. Oh, The other thing is, like, Breaker the Magical Warrior, obviously it'd have to be redone, because we don't have, like, spell counters, and we don't have activate, well, we do have activate, we don't have spell counters in Rush Duel. But he's almost more of a Rush Duel card than a Speed Duel card, right? Because you wouldn't play him in Speed, realistically, in Duel Links. I'd play Breaker the Magical Warrior in Rush, I'm just saying. How are you, mate? Well, we're doing pretty good. We're just going over the new box and stuff, and the new leaks that we got for Worlds, which is going to be very, very exciting. Thank you for the follow, Julius Caesar. Do appreciate it. So the other thing that I did see, which caught my eye, was MBT is doing a challenge where he's decided to try and basically max out in Rush, Speed, and Master Duel. And, you know, he's just managed it in Speed, playing, you know, Despia.deck. He's already done Rush with Heroes. And so now he's just got the rest of the month to try and max out in the old Master Duel. So we'll see if he's able to do that. I'm sure he'll be able to. Oh, that's a video. We don't need to watch that. Anything but DM remake / reboot. Why do you not like DM / or DM, I guess, Serena? Or is it like you don't like DM, or you just don't want a reboot of anything? So, like, would a GX reboot be just as bad to you? I faced him in Rush. Did you win? Maxing Master Duel is a pain and torture. Well, he's only left himself, what, 7-ish days? 7 days from today. This was yesterday, so I guess 8 days to do it. We'll have to see if he can do it. Hello, by the way, Shui. We'll give an exclamation mark. Shui in the chat. Bam. My man. Yeah, with ease. Ooh. Poor guy. I just don't like DM, really. Oh, that's a shame. I really like DM, but the thing is, I will never really understand if I have a really, like, big soft spot for DM because, you know, I grew up with it. Like, I started on DM. I played all through DM. I was competitively competing in tournaments through DM. I loved this show. I loved their card game. I loved everything about DM, right? So I almost can't look at DM without rose-tinted goggles, because it's so core to my, like, foundational years as a person, right? Like, when you're at that age and that has, like, such an impact on your life, you can't help but love it, right? I'd remake Arc 5 before DM. Arc 5, I wouldn't remake Arc 5. I would do maybe a movie that, like, goes back, or, like, not retroactively, like, change it, but, like, give it the send-off it almost deserved. I think that would be really cool. Like, I think an Arc 5 movie could work really well. The issue is, I think the amount of people that despise Arc 5 and thus would hate it and just not watch it anyway is, like, so big, right? I think that's what I would like, but hating on possible Battle City remake is objectively wrong. I mean, I love Battle City personally. I'll only accept it if it's a closer to the manga. I mean, that's kind of what D-Sod was, unless we're talking about Arc 5. The idea of being a Yu-Gi-Oh fan but hating DM is crazy to me. I mean, everyone's got their own opinions, right? Everyone's got their own opinions. Like, it just is what it is. Is that Barox in the chat? Good afternoon, Mr. Dinosaur Wing. Are we ready for the world stream? I am going to be covering worlds in some way. I don't know exactly what that's going to be at the moment, but we'll definitely be doing something with worlds. I'm definitely very excited for it. For sure, for sure. Yeah, I'm the same. Was watching it when I was 12, so it's a forever part of me. Arc 5 movie that fixes the ending. Yeah, that's what I would really like. I'd cancel Arc 5 directly. Hikari just hates Arc 5. The thing is, Arc 5 has like some of the best characters, right? Like Shun, incredible character. Yuto, incredible character. Like, obviously, Kite isn't from that show, but that version of him was awesome. Gong Strong, I still think is one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh characters. Like, his gimmick is so fun. I love his deck. I love his character. He looks ludicrous, and that almost adds to his charm, and he's just so good. I love him. Then there's Sora, who again is amazing. Like, I think Sora is one of the best characters in Yu-Gi-Oh period. Like, I think he's just so good. Like, they're not, like, necessarily, like, super memorable, which is a bit of a shame, but, like, I love everything about some of the characters from Arc 5. Like, some of them are just so good. I'm trying to think, like, because, like, a lot of people really like Reiji. I don't know. I like Reiji's deck. I think Reiji's design is super bland. He's just, like, blue top, like, grey trousers, a scarf, and glasses. I'm like, wow, peak character design. That's nuts. Like, his personality's fine, and like his like objectives, the way that he like acts, the way that he duels, I think is all fine. I think the way he looks is so boring. He looks like, what if we tried to make like Steve Jobs a Yu-Gi-Oh character, and it just looks really strange. Actually, if we're talking movie/anime series, a Duel Links one would be fantastic. I mean, a Duel Links show would go really hard. Like, that would be so good. Hikari, them's fighting words. Gur, I hate activating action cards mid-duel. Alright, if I'm being completely honest, I don't like action cards that much, and action duels in general, because it made the writers get a little bit lazy in some regards. It was like, how are we going to have him survive this attack? Oh, should we give him like a trap card to protect him? No, just don't worry about it. Just give him an action card. I'll sort it out. I don't know. I wasn't like the biggest fan of action cards personally, but like, I really liked how they made the duels a lot more dynamic, and I especially liked how Gong would just refuse to move. He did his like steadfast dueling, and he was like, no, everyone, you can run around and get your action cards. I'm just going to ignore this mechanic entirely and just be at a massive disadvantage. Also, I'm playing no spells and traps, because I also want to be at a massive disadvantage. Just so good, so good. Yugo is the GOAT. Yugo is so good. Hikari hates Arc V or Arc 5 because the Gem Knight girl is... Ooh. Ooh. Well, Hikari does really dislike Asana. So, like... Really, what we're saying is Hikari really doesn't like worms. I think that's what we're really getting at. The schedule of the stream for us in EU, it's kinda... but I guess I'll try to be there. I mean, that's the plan, right? I mean, it's in Paris, right? So it shouldn't be too bad. Arc 5 also has some of the best archetypes as well. Never saw them in the anime, though. Yeah, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, yeah, like Arc 5 was when... Shit, what are they called? The level 3 Dante's Inferno archetype. Why can I not think what they're called? My brain's just not working. What are they called? I've got like so many archetype names. Burning Abyss. Thank you. Burning Abyss. That's the one. Burning Abyss. Oh, bro. Don't get old, guys. Don't get old. Your brain starts to go. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all. But yeah, obviously that was released when the Arc 5 show was airing. It was the Arc 5 like booster sets, but it was never in the show. Arc 5 is still my favorite. It's colorful, not just one summoning mechanic. Story arcs were different enough from each other that you didn't get bored after a while. Obviously, the ending was rushed, but still, all around, it's a good appeal. Yeah, I think... oh, I should sneeze. I think that, for me, Season 1 of Arc 5 was just peak Yu-Gi-Oh! The only thing I have a problem with in Season 1 of Arc 5 is when the main character, Yuya, has, like, a little hissy fit because other people are doing pendulum summons and he doesn't get to be the only pendulum summoning guy anymore. That's the only thing I don't like about it. I think the first season was, like, great. The tournament arc was great. Having all the different students from the Leo Duel School that all have their own different, like, summoning mechanics, and then each of the primary, like, group go and learn with one of them to learn a new summoning mechanic. I think, like, I thought it was just great. Like, I think absolutely fantastic. Again, I think it does fall apart a little bit in the Synchro dimension. I think Heartland was all really good as well. I really liked that. I liked all of the Fusion dimension as well. I think there's a lot of really good. There's just also a lot of really bad. Reiji is cool, but they never let him get to do much. I mean, basically, yeah. Reiji was modeled after Steve Jobs according to his character design notes. Well, that explains a lot, but it doesn't improve him at all, right? It just now means I understand why he looks boring, right? It's basically you, but you don't have a scarf. I could get a scarf. I mean, I do own a scarf, but it's not red. I can tell you that much right now. Also, hi. Hello, Manicus. Hello. Such a cool gimmick and deck. Super Heavy Samurai, such a cool gimmick and deck. Now we don't talk about what happened when they get new support a few years ago. Well, that wasn't even the Super Heavy Samurai deck, right? It was like people ripped some of the new really good cards out of Super Heavy Samurai and played them generically, right? I was wondering why you didn't read that fully. Exactly. Hello, Grand Harrier, by the way. I literally read the message Burning Abyss because I was just like looking for the answer. I didn't even notice it was Grand in the chat. We'll give a shout out to Grand Harrier. Always got to give the shout outs to my boy. Oh, but yeah, hope you're feeling better, Grand. Hope you're having a good time. PK, same thing. I mean, basically, right? Kimfriend minus Kimfriend. Like, just I love it when Kimfriend comes in and he just like completely tries to like derail the conversation. Like we're all just like having this lovely chat about Arc 5, and then Kimfriend comes in. He's just like, yeah, you know, Tax Dragon. That's a thing. Lol, he sneezed. You say that, but that's how a kid would behave. I think it fits. Kind of. Arc 5 had a great start, I agree. It just went downhill very quickly after the first season. Yes. I do think, though, that there were still some really, really good parts in the rest of Arc 5. I just think the first season was, like, peak, and then it never quite peaked again. Like, it had some duels that were really, really good, but, like, the actual, like, vibe of the show never, like, got to that high again, I don't think. Now, Grand is back to save the community. Exactly. Any tourney today besides Cloudy for speed? I don't know, actually. Usually, Sunday is, like, reserved. I don't know if there is anything else going on. Has anyone seen Grand's new rack on Steam yet? I don't know what you're referencing there, Manicus, but... Stop giving Grand support. Never! Grand is like the Duel Links dad, right? He's always there for us. He's always there making sure everyone's having a good time. He gives us locals. He is the most important member of this community, and he will be respected now. Never saw it. Shut up, Murata. Even if that's true, I support him recover. That's just how it goes. But yeah, MBT... fantastic, right? You know, it's great. He's come. He's obviously put a lot more eyes on Duel Links again, which is good. You know, I'm happy. So this was the next thing I want to talk about. We have Worlds in a week, right? We'll have the grand finals in like 7 days. That's going to be very, very exciting. And so Kat is the person that basically creates the spreadsheet that has all of the like world championship qualifiers and stuff. So like we can see like collects all of the names of the contestants, or competitors, I suppose is a better word than contestant, and all of their deck lists, and then consolidates it all into a nice spreadsheet so we can have access to the information, so we can see which decks are performing really, really well. Well, what Cat did was basically took everyone's like rankings in the various KC Cups, GRFs, and WCSs, and then just put them next to them, right? To be like, this is how good these players have been over the last year or so, right? So it's really interesting just to look at this and just see like the data just all spelled out. Because like, look at like, by the way, do we pronounce this Leekon or L-Econ? Because where you get the stats from? I mean, I can send the thing in chat. That's no problem. It's just Cat's Discord. But like first, 23rd, 4th, skip 6 is obviously really impressive, right? Tadashi again, -1. Everyone obviously knows -1. 4, 1, 3, obviously all really impressive results. Paris 10, 10, 1, 9 is still like again really consistent, other than like the WCS, which was like didn't matter because he'd already qualified, so kind of whatever for Paris specifically. L pause Econ. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. L Econ, I like that one. 27545 is goated level commitment. I don't know what this name is. Obviously I don't have a translation. I might know who this is if someone like said it loud. What does it matter? Leekon, Elikon. It's just like trying to be like respectful, right? That's all it is. Econ equals fish. So he's like L fish. Econ equals Joel. Oh, I see, I see. The WCS sucked for Paris for all the constant shit mirrors. Well, the other thing is that Paris didn't have to do well. He could have just taken it easy and it wouldn't have mattered anyway, so... But then you got people like Serenity, who like didn't qualify for any of the KCs and just like showed up in WCS and got 16. Sunryu Santi as well is a... Sunryu Santi did qualify last year for Rush. This year has qualified for Speed and got there in 12th place, which is obviously really, really good as well. You can call her L. Joel for American. I like it. I like it. But then obviously down here for Rush, you've got Parko, who had 71, 94, 14. Quite respectable. This is Zark, who has 2 misses and then a 16, which is like respectable. Giorfio, I don't remember. Did Giorfio just not take part in the March one? But either way, 6 and 8, obviously really, really good. Zenzo skipped 2 and then just got 12th. We got a skip. Obviously, this player got first, so pretty scary. Same with Curie Rio. It's like, out of all of this, like, what looks the most impressive? Like, it's probably this Japanese player. Like, 734 is probably the most impressive score. I voted for the first 2 insert that language name here players in that list and Giorfio. I mean, I think that's fair. I think that's a good... Like, going by these metrics. Like, because that's the issue is, if you don't know these players, like, if you don't actively know them, you don't actively know how they're playing right now, if all the information you have is this, then yeah, going for the players that consistently always perform really well, I think makes a lot of sense, right? It's like, for the Rush players, like, I know Parko. I know Giorfio. I know Zenzo. I know Quantum Cubes. So I want one of them to win, right? Because I know those guys. Is Xiaomi not going? So there was that post. But apparently that wasn't from Xiaomi's account. But then there was, like, talk of, is it Xiaomi? Is it not Xiaomi? I don't know. I never, like, wrapped up that whole arc. I don't know whether or not it was Xiaomi or not. So. But I'm very excited for the tournament. I'm very excited to see who does win. Nah, it's really isn't going. Well, there we go then. I don't know why it wasn't posted on his official account. Someone was saying it wasn't on his official account. He did say in Quantum's Discord he can't go. There we go then. Did he get banned after his antics? It's just a shame. Well, the post was he had a visa issue, which is like the lamest way to not go. Which is a shame. Is a big shame. I guess with that over, we'll go on to like the next thing, which is we have a new Chronicles out, and I want to watch the new Chronicles. So we're gonna go ahead and watch that. This came out yesterday. Let's see if it's any good. I thought the last ones we had were like okay. They weren't like crazy. They weren't insane, but they were like okay, much better than the Sky Striker ones. Okay. I forgot the Chronicles existed. Why have bros got claws? I wouldn't want my royal guard to have claws, let's put it that way. The, you know, obligatory tummy shot. Good old Rugal. So, like... Oh. I guess I don't get done in by the claws, bro. I think Shurik at the moment is fighting in the air. Because it was fighting in the air last time. Like flying around and shit. The generic Counter-Strike gun sound is perfect. What do you mean? I know nothing about Albaz lore, so I'm curious how much of it is being skipped. Well, I mean, Albaz basically showed up, like, didn't really do anything, and then turned into a dragon. That's kind of all that's happened so far. God, they're going ham with the CGI. At least it's like, it's not bad looking CGI. Like, this is like good CGI. Baited and outsmarted. I almost kind of want Shurg to put the helmet back on. Now that is a very, very staple voice. Shooting things are still for kids? Oh yeah. Don't worry about that. That top-down shot was so unbelievably bad. I love so much how bro is covered in armor, has a cape, but he still just has these like claws. What is this about? This is the like Yu-Gi-Oh lore anime. So this is all about the Albaz, Ecclesia, Dogmatica, Tri-Brigade lore at the moment. New expansion. Yeah, this is a new X-Men. Don't worry about it. He turned into a dragon, did nothing, and then turned back. He basically was just a big distraction. God, Shurg looks so sick there, though.
救出はうまくいったようだな。よし、引くぞ。
Tri-Brigade monsters are all ass? What do you mean?
放っておくわけにもいくまい。連れて行こう。
I'm actually surprised it's still going. Like, this is actually reasonably length. Yo, are those sausages? That gonna be Ferrogy? Yeah, okay. I assume this is the end? I mean, it was cool. Just a bit of action. There was, like, no... I don't know. It felt like we obviously missed a bit, right? Like, Tri-Brigade landed, they won the fight, they carried everyone out, and, like, made this, like, refugee area, I guess. I mean, for me, the worst bit was the top-down shot. Where was it? Was it here? It's here somewhere. This is just funny to me. Like, everyone is obviously just a still. We're just having, like, shots firing at literally nothing. The dragon is just, like, chilling, doing, like, nothing. Like, just a little stomp. There's, like, one dude, like, scrapping around with him. I think, for me, I didn't, like, dislike it. I think all of the, like, fighting in the air stuff was cool. It's just one of those things where, like, they just give you, like, a snippet. Because, like, if you take out, like, the intro and the outro, it was, like, 6 minutes. And, like, 6 minutes is fine, but, like, if I'm watching a show, I want more. Just give me more at once. Now I get to wait, like, another month for the next bit. Now it's Digimon. These try to give us a raw ass. 2 out of 10, just one belly shot. I mean, you're entitled to that opinion. That was good, 7 out of 10, I think. Compared to the Sky Striker stuff, this stuff has been really good. But I wonder if they deliberately made the Sky Striker stuff so shit to just make the stuff that came after it look better. They should at least do one more fight against the Dogmatica before Aluba shows up, I think. Yeah, I think the thing is, they're already using a lot of CGI in the fights, like as in like the big aerial battles. So they're probably trying to cut back on the amount of action as much as they can, because it's expensive and very time consuming to make a lot of the really big action scenes. Which, like, is fair enough, but like, you could have just not released these until you'd finished them all, and then put it out as like a big movie like thing, right? And then that would have been really cool. But I wonder if it would lack plot, because fundamentally we're barely getting much like conversation between the characters. They're just kind of doing things. They're having like a fight, and then it's like, and now this happens, and now this happens, and now this happens. I wonder if when it's all finished, if you watch it, if it'll feel and flow like an actual show or not. Who ordered her not to kill Frodrag? They should have just made a movie, same lore. I mean, they could have done, right? It's hard to feel any excitement watching these. Maximus probably. That's why we gotta go crazy spending money on Duel Links so they can milk these free anime for us to enjoy. The CGI plus animation of Flirta Shurg was handled fairly well. Yeah, alright, so I am a big hater of CGI in anime, but this, and in the last episode as well, the CGI is really well done. Like, I am like one of the biggest, like, get your CGI out of my anime, like, type of people. But sometimes it's done really well. And this is one of the better times. Like, I do think this scene, just in general, this whole fight, looks good. I still can't get over the fact that the regular ass soldiers have claws. Like, they got like Wolverine claws as their like primary weapon. I'm just, in what way is that practical? It just seems so weird. Flying fight reminded me of Albedo versus Battlesuit Guy from Red Rose. Are you specifically talking about Overlord Season 3? Where it's the guy in, like, the Gundam suit? I always think back to Arc 5 CGI, where it's a bunch of it was done at really low frame rate and stuck out so much. Yes, Brad, that is exactly what I'm thinking about as well. Also, there was that, what was that show called? There was a really, really bad isekai. Oh, can I even remember what it was called? And it had, like, the worst CGI of all times. What on earth was it called? That's the issue, is all of the isekai have, like, the worst possible names. Which makes it really difficult to find any of them. Was this it? I think I found it.
Toka never
Alright. Let me grab this. Bring this over. Now, does this have the CGI? This is what I always think of when it's like, oh man, there's like really bad CGI going on. That's if this video ever actually loads. God, show me the really bad CGI. Nah, come on, we got. You can show me the real bad stuff. Oh, come on. There's so much bad CGI in this, and you're like showing none of it in this video, bro. What are we doing? Like, this show is like 25% awful CGI, and they've just put like none of it in the video, and that's really bothering me. Like, how have you done this? How have you deliberately omitted... I mean, that was some of it, but you only got to see it for like a couple of frames. But yeah, this show is like just awful, awful CGI. That was my point. In the way the soldier's neck snapped back into place makes it seem like they are puppets instead of people. I mean, yeah. What can I do when Twitch on PC don't show my message, but on phone it does? Probably nothing. I think you just kind of have to accept it just didn't work. The claw things are real because of art from Ashian. Yeah, but it's still lame. I'm sorry, it just is. Alright, the next thing I wanted to do is take a look at the new stuff and kind of work out what kind of decks I would want to build. So Music Princess's Breath is the first thing I want to kind of talk about here. I'll probably get Dictionary, do much, learn, be real good, speak. Exactly. I mean, a good place to start. Do we even need more than one? Probably one's fine. Those are fine. If we're going to have a legend trap, why not that one? Maybe we're playing that. Probably not, but maybe. Yesterday it was the same. If I type in stream, it won't get through, but on phone it will. So is it? But I have no idea, mate. Please do some pack simulator opening. It's content trust. Why? What is even the point? Hello, Henry. Welcome, welcome. Alright, let's go and take a look at some... Actually, we'll probably search music. Probably the easiest and quickest way to find this. Alright, you're going to be in the deck, and 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 you're going to be in the deck. Where's Boton? She's very important. Right, so that's everything that's mandatory, basically. Maybe we take out the back row. We got what, 1, That is so many spell traps. So many spell traps. What does the skill lock us to? If we get hovers on. Wind, attribute, warriors, and beasts. Alright. So wind, warriors, and beasts. Is there any wind beast worth playing? Literally any. No. So we're just not playing any beasts. Because I don't think we're playing Trumpet Tiger, realistically. Pack Sim isn't worth doing now, as we don't have full rates. Well, it's the other thing as well, where I just don't... Like... I don't see the appeal of just doing a pack sim outside of, like, my own enjoyment. Like, just to see what I would have got, or if you're doing, like a challenge or something. Like, I've just never been the type to just, like, open imaginary booster packs and then do nothing with them. Is there a Ghost and Goblins music playing somewhere? Hello, everybody. Playing the Avian can be good because we have cards that mill the top, and if it's a warrior, we do stuff. I want a cog with super aggro Pierce build. We talked about with the generic skill. Definitely could work. Can you move chat, Tomato, so we can see the list? We can do that. We'll just get rid of chat for now. Probably the easiest thing to do. Rip. It's not... There isn't, like, a lot of options here. Now, a generic card that could be okay is Horn Knives, but we need to make sure we have Warrior Normals in the graveyard. So then it's just like, are we just going to play a whole bunch of Warrior Normals? Because I don't feel great. We need some low-level monsters, but there's just not much in here. I mean, we could play, like, Flute Tomahawk. That's, like, fine. Has 0 defense, which is a little bit awkward. We could just play Horn Knives. And then, like, if we do sack, then it's fine, right? Either way, milling is good. We want to be milling. And if we do get a normal monster back from the graveyard, that's fine. We can, like, use it as tribute fodder or something. And your video? You want me to move the video? We don't move the video. That's fine. There's no cards under there. I don't think we play any of the level 6s. Like, at all. And then it's like, we could play Club Baronet, or Clubinet, as it's now called. Just a 1400. I mean, the alternative is you just play something like Avian, because its stats are, like, fine, but, like, that doesn't seem worth it. Oh, the low levels are actually really annoying in this deck. Because as is, this is what? This is 12 normal summons. Which isn't great. We want to have, ideally, a critical mass of monsters. Can I DM you the Hero Music Princess list I found, and you give your thoughts? Yeah, I mean, you can do. You can always DM me whatever you want. I mean, if we're just going to play something for stats, it's probably going to be Brosaxophone. But if Brosaxophone comes in, we're taking out some spell traps. We don't necessarily need Avian Spell Tactics. Like, right now, it's beneficial because it works with Horn Knives. But we don't need Horn Knives to be live. So if I were to do that, I could then just put in, like, 3 of them. And that would be kind of the list. This does feel a little bit better because having 15 normal summons is just in general going to be better. Again, without, like, testing it, it's always going to be a little bit awkward. Alright, let's take a look at this list quick. I mean, this looks... Ugh. This looks standard. I mean, this looks fine. There's nothing, like, particularly stand out about it. I don't necessarily like the 3 Rising Heroes. I don't think Tantalum is, like, super great. Other than that, this is, like, fine. But the thing you have to remember is that, like, pure hero right now is just better than this. This is, like, quite an outdated deck. And obviously you can't play this list in Duel Links. Cook Hero plus Princess. The biggest problem with Hero Princess is, one, you only have a single copy of the trap card, which obviously isn't ideal. The trap card, the Miracle Fusion. And you couldn't use the hero skill or the Music Princess skill. Yeah, but then don't use... If that's the logic, just don't use the shit. Like, use a different discard draw. You don't even really need it. You've already got the circulation. I don't think this is, like, a fantastic list, let's put it that way. Would I change anything with this? We have, what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 spell traps feels about right. We got 21 monsters, 15 normals. We don't have to worry about back row hate, theoretically, because we can use full orchestra. If our opponent has Shady, we can use Trombo to flip back up. We don't have many ways to plus. It's basically Horn Knives if we get lucky. Again, the odds should be in our favour that Horn Knives works, but it's not always going to work. The other issue is we don't have any way to recycle right now. So if all of our bosses end up in the graveyard, it's not really ideal. Fusion Deal. Unironically, Fusion Deal might be the best one to use. Wouldn't Argent be better? I don't know the skill limitation. So you can't play Argent because it isn't a Wind Warrior. If you don't have the 3rd Shady, what would you play instead? I mean, you don't necessarily need to play another spell trap even. Like, because the thing is, because of the way the skill works, it is always a little bit awkward with knowing how the deck's going to feel when you actually play it. Because we can make our high levels get 1 less tribute, I'm fine with playing 6 of them, right? But it might be that 6 is still too many, or it might be 6 is... still feels like it's not enough in a way. So without testing, it's really difficult to know what ratios you want. If I didn't have that extra shiny Shady, I would probably include another body. Just another, like, low-level body. But after testing, I might be like, well, you don't need that many low-level bodies. If I was going to include just another low-level body, it'd just be a normal monster. So probably the 1400 Defender. A Clubinette. Because its attack stat isn't awful. Like, 800 is fine. It's not like the 0-14s where you get massively punished for it being changed to attack position. Because the thing is, we might end up putting Trumper Tiger in. Like, I don't think we will. It depends, like, how the deck feels. Again, we get a free +1 from the skill. Effectively, it's like an extra +1 every time we tribute summon, because we're saving a body. Again, the only other way we have to plus, specifically, is going to be Horn Knives. Man, being locked to wind really hurts. Like, it really hurts. I think this would be my first draft that I would be playing. And then, like, obviously, you know, as you test, you'll change things as you go. But I think this is what I would do for Wind Warriors. I'm just trying to see if there's anything, like, I've missed. Because, like, you can play Battle-Tested Gaia. I mean, you can't because it's a limit 3. But even if you could play Battle-Tested Gaia, like, there's nothing to do with it. You can't play Dark Dragons. We're definitely not playing Bender Break, I'll tell you that much. Just all the level 6s don't seem worth it. If we could get the 6s out 1 tribute less, I would probably play a lot more 6s. But without doing that, I don't think the 6s are worth playing. We already... Basically, Ensemble Fighter, or I guess Full Orchestra, is our back row hate, so I don't have to worry about that too much. And Divine Breath is our, like, finisher / piercer, so we don't have to worry about that too much either. Poor Bender Break never got his big break. Rip Bender Break. Alright, let's take a look at Overlord. Probably putting you in. Probably still having these again. If we're going to have a trap and we're playing Pot of Greed, we're probably playing that. We might not play Trap Hole. Trap Hole is another card that might just come out. Depending on what people are playing. Because Trap Hole is going to be useless against... It's going to be almost useless against... is it going to be useful? It's bad against Ballet specifically, but it's still okay into the rest of the deck. It's probably going to be bad into the maximum decks. Compulse is limit 1? Yes. So if we want to play Pot of Greed, we can't play Compulse. That's kind of the issue we have. Do you have Pierce, if not Curse in there? I don't know that we need it. Like, the boss has built-in Pierce, and if we have the other Magnum Overlord, we just don't summon it. Or if we do summon it, it's there to hold the spot until we get the other maximum out. It's like, I don't know that we actually specifically need it. So I would probably do this. I would probably play both maximums. And again, this is something that might change once we play it and we test with it a bit. But the idea of playing 2 maximums feels better. I don't think I would play Burning. We're definitely playing Heavenly Gift. Then the question becomes, do we even bother with back row hate? Like, what back row stops us? It's like, negate attack is really bad for us. That's kind of it. Compulse does nothing to a maximum. Well, Compulse is annoying if your opponent uses it on their turn. That's it. None of the other traps affect maximum, so it just doesn't matter. Negate and people can't run it half the time. Yeah, so it's just kind of that. So I don't think we need the other Heavenly. I don't think we need... we turn Bobbers on again. I don't think we need Selection. So at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spell traps. I mean, we could play something along the lines of what's the trap card called? Restoration? Oh, we could just do that. Because, like, this will theoretically draw us into more pieces. The issue we have at the moment is we don't want to get stuck with the big maximums in our hand and not be able to do anything with them, so maybe we play, like, Craft the Drone. The downside with that is Craft the Drone could get the maximum pieces out of our hand, potentially draw into the ones we need, but then Craft the Drone gets left on the board. And Craft the Drone, unfortunately, is not a particularly good body to just kind of hang out. Do we run the maximum adjacent monster that goes to 31? So, Burning is like a really weird card. I don't... My first impression is we don't play Burning. But after testing with this, if this feels like ass, I would definitely then try it with Burning, right? Because the other thing is, like, the skill allows us to get monsters out of our hand easier. At which point, like, we might not even need Craft the Drone. Although just getting the draws is nice. It might be fine, just 1 to 2 copies. The thing is, I don't... the big problem this deck is going to have is, if we can't get a maximum out, our turn is going to be activate skill, set one of our bosses. And then just, like, set 2 guys, which all have 0 defense. And then you can just get pierced over and absolutely just get completely destroyed. Which is obviously not ideal. The problem is I don't think Burning solves a lot of those issues, especially since he still has 0 defense. So if your opponent, let's say you get this out as like a 3100 guy, and then you're playing against a deck that could just change you to defense and attack over you. Which, by the way, Music Princess can do, Spellcasters can do, weird builds of Galaxy can do, but they typically won't. But they won't care about a 3100 guy anyway. They'll just attack, like, they'll get up to like 8,000 attack and attack over it, not really give a shit. Heroes are just gonna eat this alive as well. They'll just boost over it, attack it, kill it. Worm Max will be way more consistent now too, thanks to Heavenly. The only problem with playing Heavenly and Worm Max is you only play one maximum in that deck. So you're only going to have 3 copies of a level 10 card to discard. That feels a little bit awkward when you're playing like 3 copies of Heavenly Gift. And we don't really have ways to recycle the maximum right now, I don't think. I'm trying to think if we have any way to put the maximum back into our deck in a good way that doesn't feel really bad. Or put it back into our hand. Life point manipulating effects for old maximum, new trap. I don't think we lean into that. A lot of the time, I feel like we might end up in a really weird situation where we're already kind of playing a lot of traps. And I think more than anything, like, yeah, it could be really funny to be like, flip over trap, life points get low, I can now get like a cheeky OTK with Overlord. But like, that situation is probably going to come up anyway. Like, there will just be a point where your life points are low enough to just be able to OTK. I don't think we necessarily need to, like, play into it. And if anything, we're gaining life points with our trap cards. Is Seal Array too slow? So, Seal Array is, like, it's fine. The problem is, if you're playing the Worm Maximum, for example, there's not going to be many situations where you can take advantage of TSA. If we're talking about this deck, again, we don't really need it. We can go up to like 5,000 attack or ridiculous attack. We have piercing, so if our opponent's stalling, we can get over it that way. We have ways to recycle our maximum pieces using the skill. The one thing I would maybe say is maybe you take out Pot of Greed. And instead, we play Reincarnation. And then we play Reactor, which means we wouldn't use this. This now opens up Compulse. I don't hate this either, because Reincarnation is just good in maximum decks because you can just get the piece you're missing. Imaginary Reactor will fill the graveyard. There isn't really much of a reason to fill our graveyard in this deck, other than Reincarnation. And then to get Imaginary Reactor off the board, it's also kind of annoying. Yeah, the issue is always going to be just having the bodies like left on the board. Because the only way to get rid of it is going to be tributing it with these guys. Which in itself is like... It's not like awful. Yeah, I don't know. We could just play Reincarnation without Reactor. Because again, filling the graveyard isn't doing anything for us. Like, you could make the argument that because of the Maximum Overlord skill, if we do mill the piece that we're looking for, we can put that back on top of our deck. Which, like, again, isn't awful. That's not awful. So it just comes back to getting the 500 body back off the board. I mean, at that point, you could play Burning, right? Because Burning would be a way to get him off the board. But then you're back to the whole, like, I don't really want to be playing Burning because he's not really furthering the game plan at all. He's just kind of there. Don't forget, you can shady your own guys if necessary. I mean, that is a good shout. It's just like, yeah, leaving a 500 guy on the board just feels so bad. The other really annoying thing is that the skill is really slow, because the skill puts it back on the top of your deck at the end of your turn. So you can't even, like, put it back to the top and then draw into it and then play it on the same turn. You have to get it a turn later, which always feels so bad. Which monsters can skill place face down? What if we ran some monsters? So we can only play 2100 attack or less monsters that are spellcasters and machines. So we don't have a lot of options. That's the like primary issue we have. The thing to remember is this deck primarily lives or dies on whether or not we get the max out. So every card in the deck, we really want to be furthering the idea of get the max on the board. Do we use Curse with Burning so that they use their Shadies and you get to flip stuff up for Magnum? Curse is a really weird one though. Because the only opportunity they would have to use a trap that's going to do much is on like a burning, right? Because like if we're summoning these, we're probably just going to use the skill to set them and then flip them up. So they're not going to trigger a trap. Nothing else here is going to trigger a trap card realistically. So we'd use it just to flip a guy up, which again, we don't need to flip guys up. We have Overlord as our piercer. Does Amazing Dealer do anything for this? It does. Amazing Dealer really does. That is a good shout. I think Dealer is probably worth including. It does put us back to that weird point again, though, where we don't want to have like really shitty bodies, and it's summon, have a 0 attack body with no way to get rid of it. If you Magnum. I will say these are both Magnum, by the way. The only thing different is this one is Beast Steam and this one is Machine. Which is also really annoying, because it's not like, yeah, if you Machine. If you want to trigger their Shady with Burning, just to draw 2 and get something face up. Yeah, but then it's like... It then becomes like, are we playing effectively Burning and Curse for this like one interaction? Like, it's not inherently a bad thing, it's just like, I wonder how often it's going to come up. If we're playing the Mirror as well, we could actually play Negate Attack instead of Compulse. In this method, just because this does exist, is there going to be a reason to actually play Negate over Compulse? Obviously, if you're against a fusion deck, you get so much more value out of Compulsing. Well, because the other thing to take note of as well is that if they have... No, I still it's got to be Compulse, because we're going to have Thingy in the meta. Like, we already have Burst Wingman. We already have Plasma. And now we're going to have Full Orchestra. So, like, we just have to accept that the maximum deck's going to be really annoying. We could happily just take this out, that's fine. But then it's like, we could take one of these out, having 2 is probably fine. I almost want to do something like this. I hate these ratios. I think 2 Amazing Dealer is fine, I hate having 2 Reactors. They can't use effects if your beast is on the field in max. Right. Wait, what is that in reference to? What about the new Cyber? It's basically Craft the Drone. The issue with the new Cyber Serpent is you need to have another light attribute monster on the field. Unless you're talking about something different. Is 6 discards for Heavenly a good number? 6 generally feels good with 3 copies of Heavenly. Because the other thing is that you can, with this deck specifically, you can keep putting these back on top of your deck and then discarding them again the following turn. So if you draw a Heavenly, you just set it, put a level 10 to the top of your deck, and then you can discard it later. So, like, you shouldn't ever really run out. The big issue this deck might actually end up having... no, because we need to turbo the graveyard, right? We need to get 10 in the graveyard anyway. What I might do is like something like this. Because I don't think we need all of them. And then do something like this. Maybe that would feel a bit better. Again, until we actually test it, it's really hard. Because you just go off vibes at this point. Which is like, obviously not a great metric. So they can't out your back row with the max on board. They can't do it with the max on board. But they can do it if you don't have the max on board, right? So we have to consider what's going to happen when we don't have the maximum, right? Theoretically, once the max is out, we're feeling pretty good. The traps are there to, like, ideally help out with that. Not to mention that if they summon... If we summon out our Beast Team, and then our opponent summons out their Magnum Overlord, they can't use the effective boost over. If they summon out their own Beast Team, they'll just crash. And there still won't really be much we can do about it. Like, protection-wise. Little Rex time, baby? I don't think that's happening. Yeah, I don't hate this. I think this would be... This is, I think, where I've ended up. I think this is what I would play on day one. I really don't hate this. This could actually be okay. And then we have V-Friend. So, once again, we open every deck with the exact same way. Let's just put all of this in. Then we're going to search... I guess we'll just look up Psychic, right? So I think the skill immediately locks us to Psychic. We turn Hovers on. Constructed deck are Psychic type monsters, and all the level 5 or higher monsters in your constructed deck have 0 defense. So that is the big thing. 0 defense on the level 5 and higher. So we can play Psychic Upper. We can play Candy. We can play Prima if we want to. We'll put it in there as a 1 just to remind us that we have it. Put that in. We can play Ice Pop Bear. We can play Amalilith. Obviously, we're going to be playing V-Friend. We can play Esperard, but I very seldom think we'll have a reason to. We're going to need at least 1 Giftarist. We need at least 1 Berry Bassist. Are we playing Ordol? Maybe? We'll put them in for now. We need you. Romic and Roller. We need Kitar. And we got the band. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have all the band. Okay. Are we deck building now? Yeah, we're just going through, taking a look at like what could initially be in the first drafts of these decks. You can play the fusions too because it's constructed deck, which for some reason is just main. Oh yeah. Well, they're Omega Psychics, right? That's why they're not on this list at the moment. I mean, we can do that and that. So now the question becomes, what is the rest of this deck doing? So the strategy is, we want to be just throwing stuff in the bin. That is our strategy. We want to be milling, we want to be filling up the graveyard as best we can. And that's all fine. I wonder if there's a... No, there's not really a good way to do that. So right now, I guess we'll put Trap Hole in. Because why not? It still can be useful. I mean, we could play Star Restart, but it's like, how all in are we going to be on the fusion? Everything that we'd have is light. We can get Psychic Upper into the bin. We can't get Candy into the bin. If we're playing fusions, we need the fusion spell card. We don't have any way to search it as well, so it would just be like hardcore drawing the fusions. Is that even worth it? Is it even worth it to try and put the fusions in this deck? Back from lunch, what did I miss since the box review? I mean, not a lot. We talked about leaks. We talked about worlds. We talked about the new Chronicles episode. And then we started deck building. That's kind of it. I'm wondering if this fusion stuff is even worth playing. If we go second, we can theoretically add Psypic Upper to hand. That is like the best thing we're getting. Hard drawing fusion and not being able to run Starry Start when you're milling. Well, we can play Starry Start. You just have to play less copies of Ice Pop there. So I could do that, and then that. Well, that's fine. The issue is, we're turbo milling, and we could just mill our Starry Starts. That's where everything starts to fall apart a little bit. Personally, I wouldn't play Fusion. Too many moving pieces. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the conclusion I'm coming to here. But I want the deck to be doing something else, right? Because in my mind, I don't want to just be playing a whole bunch of guff. So, like, let's take out everything that we would use for fusions, and then see what the deck's like left at. Because there's not a lot going on here right now. Like, we could just play, like, multiple copies of these cards, but, like, do I want to have 3 Dream Drummer, 3 Keytar Kids, like, loads of Guitarists and stuff? Still play Candy with Jamp Up, Jamp Start. Yeah. Alright, let's do Jam. That's the wrong place to type that. Up here. That's the correct place to type that. So this heals us for 1,000, which is nice. Getting a normal monster to our hand, what does that do for us? It basically just turns this into a body. It does give us a little bit of recycling. I'm wondering if we care. Jump up, we just don't need, I don't think, right? Straight up. Like, is there a reason to jump up? I mean, big attack, good. Check 2, which is huge. Yeah, check is actually huge. Like, that is actually huge. But it has to be with Candy. So just having check, getting Candy just for that is probably worth it. Is there anything else we can do with Candy is the question. Not really. Not outside of, like, playing Fusion. God, there's just, like, big dead airs at the end of some of these songs. Right, we'll do that. We'll do that. Bit of CTR. Use Maginical. Being back, friend, or gift. Maginical. Yeah, Maginical's always worth using. I mean, just getting back V friend on its own is just fantastic, right? I mean, that's a 30-card deck that we've built. We've got back row hate, we've got draw power, we've got recycling. We've got a decent slew of trap cards. We probably don't need this Prima, right? Like, what's Prima doing for us right now? Like, we could bring Prima back. We can send Prima to the graveyard as well. But without having, like, Omega, I don't think it matters. Autocorrect is killing me. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all fine. It's all fine. This does seem like a bit of a mess, though. The other thing is, do we run more copies of the band just to try and make sure we get them in the graveyard, or do we just stick with one of each? One of each does mean we're going to be open to get absolutely murdered by something like Ordol. The issue is, a lot of the band members' effects kind of suck. Like, that's a literal vanilla. This one's awful unless you're at 2,000 life points or less. This one's like fine, but you need to have a normal monster to get the extra 500. If you have a face-up psychic type monster other than this card, especially some level 2 psychic normal monster from your graveyard. We probably do something like this. The issue is, if we don't have Prima, we don't have a lot of good ways to get a lot of damage on the board. This goes back to having like 6 high levels, but again, they should all be 1 tribute monsters. Yeah, we don't even need to have anything to turn the skill on. We just do it. We just turn it on. We might not even need the Ordals. Ordal was really good to like mess with graveyards. I don't think we need the plus. I don't know, maybe we do. If we can get out like 3 V-Friends, maybe we just win with that. Maybe that's the win con. We just go like V-Friend, V-Friend, V-Friend. We can get V-Friend using Magical Miracle. We don't really have any other ways to get them back from the bin, do we? Yeah, that's what we're really missing, is like recyclers. We have Dream Drummer, which is like fine. I mean, we could play the new card, right? What's it called? Side Composition or whatever the heck it's called. This thing. That gets V-Friend back from the bin. Yeah, but it starts only 2 cards still. TSA. So we're trying to avoid TSA. Because we don't really want to empty the graveyard. We want to just make sure we don't run out of cards on our deck. I actually don't hate this card. Because the more I think about it, if we have check, we should ideally be able to rip apart our opponent's back row, right? So the back row shouldn't be an issue. Then the strategy is just summon out 3 V-Friend, wipe out the opponent's entire back row, or they're just everything they have, and then just attack them for game. That feels like the correct strategy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 spell traps might be a bit too much, you know. We might not need that. Probably do with taking 1 Jump Start out. And I really don't know if we need these Ordals. Like, Ordal isn't bad, but like, is it really good? We got what, 1? So all of our level 6s are, they're not level 6s because our skill is always on. As long as we have a dark attribute monster in our deck to send to the graveyard, these are level 4s. So we could probably do like this, and then I'm tempted to do that because this one needs Candy to gain the 1000. But you just need a face-up normal monster. But then, like, is there a difference between choosing Berry Bassist? Because, like, we could just do Berry Bassist instead. We could play 1500 Beta. It's dark and can recycle with start. I'm wondering if we need it, though. I kind of just want to get Candy out, because, I mean, for the most part, you don't even really need the Candy. Like, does the Candy matter? The Candy gets you the extra 1000 life points. Do we need the life points? Like, the way I'm kind of envisioning playing this deck is we just dump as much into the graveyard as possible. Get all 5 in there. and then just try and summon 3 V friends all at once and kill our opponent. That's what we're kind of hoping for. The issue is, we could just mill Jump Check. We could mill all the cards that get back V friends, so we just don't get to do that. You need it for Maginical? Yeah, that's right. We need 100-100. And Kitar Kid does not meet that requirement. And Maginical is really good. Because getting out the V-Friend. Because the other thing you can do, theoretically, is you could go V-Friend, activate its effect, get rid of your opponent's stuff, right? Then you could tribute over it into like another V-Friend, pop another card, then go like Maginical Candy, Maginical send it, get back the V-Friend that was put in the graveyard to pop another card. Like, you can do it in the same way that, like, Jointech does it with Jointech Rex. Hello, Kazumi. Yes, it's the new box for Rush, I know. But you'll have a new speed box soon, don't worry. I mean, none of that matters. The only thing else we could do is play more Millers. But, like, it's so sketch to play more Millers. But, like, what we really want is just to fill up our graveyard. Like, really, that's what we're really trying to do here. Maginical Candy. If they Shady, the Grave, Summon. That's still a face-up Candy, so you can use another Maginical or distribute them both, yeah. I think there is a lot of potential. I think you do have to kind of sack a little bit. But, like, it's Rush. You've always got to sack a little bit, right? Jump Check makes this so good as well. I am actually really tempted by Starhand Illuminator. I don't think it's actually worth it, but I am mildly tempted by it. Just an extra 2 mils can be nice. It's not actually going to be nice. Really, what I want is 2 more Roman pick. That's what I really want. You know what? A card that could mill, that could also just get me the pieces I need back into my hand. That would be fantastic. No, we're not allowed to do that. The only thing I don't know, and again, I'm going to have to test it. And this is something we're just going to keep saying again and again. You have to test it before you really get a feel for it. But I don't know if we're going to want to be playing just tons of the band members. Like, it might be that we want to play 3 copies of Berry Bassist. We might want to increase the number of Kitar Kid up. Dream Drummer? It's cool. It's okay. Its effect is fine. Robic and Roller, I probably would only play 1 of this. I don't think I would play more than 1 Robic and Roller regardless. Giftarist, I think, is really important just to have as another tribute monster as well. Because, like, just tributing over V-Friend to recycle V-Friend could be really, really important. Especially since we can get it back with Psychic Composition. And especially because the mills from Psychic Composition is not mandatory. That also is really important. Is Pot of Greed broken in Rush? I mean, kind of. So, in Rush, having more cards is really good. Like, people will always be like, having more cards doesn't mean anything in Rush because you always draw up to 5. But, like, if you have 5 and your opponent's playing with 9, which is something that happened yesterday in the tournament, there is a massive difference. You can, like, kill your opponent with 9 cards. With 5 cards, it's not very likely, right? So just having more cards than your opponent is just always going to be good in any form of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, Pot of Greed is, like, probably the best generic card. And the only reason to not play Pot of Greed is if there's another Limit 1 you really want to play. What's the skilled wording? So the wording is, can be activated from turn 2 onwards if all of the monsters in your constructed deck are Psychic-type monsters and all of the level 5 or higher cards are 0 defense. Then we send a Dark attribute monster, 2400 or less attack from your deck to the graveyard. If you go in second, get it in your hand. This turn, you could normal summon / set Dark attribute monsters with 1 less tribute. Makes sense. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has always been a card advantage game. Yes, exactly. That's the thing. A lot of people, like I say, they'll look at it and they'll be like, card advantage doesn't matter. And it's like, it does. It's just not in the same way as it matters in speed. Like, generally, as you go through Rush's life cycle, you get more and more cards that just plus and plus and plus and let you, like, keep comboing and comboing and comboing and doing, like, really ridiculous shit. I think I'm happy with this. I think this is how I would play, probably. I'll probably play more of the level 6 then, because they're just level 4 beaters. Not gonna lie, maybe 2 of each. So I really don't like Romic and Roller. I also don't think having an extra 100 attack means a lot. Because its effect is very rarely going to be alive, right? Like, it could be, but I think it's very rarely going to be alive. Berry Bassist can actually be quite useful, right? The only downside is, to use Berry Bassist, we have to have another monster on the field already, and then we're filling up the last slot with a level 2. Now, getting the level 2 can be nice, because then we can jump check. You know, we can't jump start, we can jump check. And if the other monster we have is Miracle, then that's fine. That's put us in a great spot, right? Now, as there's no summon limits in Rush, the more cards is always going to be better. Exactly. Join Tech Last Pot, agreed. It's more to get the name in the grave quicker. We can normal it and then tribute it for a boss. Yeah, I mean, or we could just bin it with the skill, right? I mean, that's why we're saying about running more band members in general. Like, I don't hate running more, like, Keytar Kid, or running more Dream Drummers, or running more Berries. I just don't really want to play more Romic and Rollers. But then it comes down to, like, if we're due, something has to come out for more stuff to go in. Whereas right now, I kind of like everything in here. Like, I think we're always playing Roman Pick, we're always playing 3v Friend. I like playing lots of Guitarist. I think it makes sense, because we're going to want to tribute over some of this stuff quite a lot. Berry Bassist as 2, like, maybe you put this up to 3, maybe. I think you have to play the 3 Maginical. We have to play the 3 Candy, because that's, like, kind of how this whole combo kind of works together. And then, like, what else, like, would you take out to put more stuff in, right? Only been 1 a turn. If you're only using 1 Tribute 2, then that's 2 names. We need more ways to dump. Well, our ways to dump is, like, V-Friend, right? It just mills 5. And then if we have that in the graveyard, we can use this, and this mills 3. We've got Roman Pick, which mills another 3. And that's why we were talking about Star's Hand, because it mills. You want to play Heavenly in this? You still have to discard 2 cards for that. So you would be... You -3 to +2, right? So you go -1. Is the 1-off summon just for 1 monster, or all turn like Joan Tech? It's all turn. It's this turn you can normal summon / set Dark Attribute monsters with 1 less tribute. Yeah, the hard thing is we're already at 30 cards. That's the difficult thing. So taking stuff out of this is really challenging. I wonder if I do this, if that's gonna... I mean, that's a little bit better. You can see the deck better. I think I'm happy with this. I don't think I would change anything. Play 40? I mean... Alright, I don't think playing 40 would be good, because we need to, like, see all of these pieces, otherwise the deck doesn't function. But we don't really have many ways to recycle, so we're probably going to deck ourselves out if we don't get our combo going just absolutely murder, right? Test hand? I mean, we could test hand, that's fine. Right, so where's the test hand button? It's been a while since I've done this. Wasn't that, like, up here before? Oh, Draw Simulator. There we go. Bang a hand, guys. Bang a hand. If we go second, we can play the game. Draw. Guys, I don't feel so good. How long until 40 cards is the standard? I don't know if it ever will be. It's a weird one. Right, new hand. Alright, we can summon Berry Bassist without tributing, so this hand is live. Wait, is it on turn 2 onwards? How is the skill worded? Turn 2 onwards. If we go first, then we get absolutely murked if our hand is full of high levels. That's scary. That is actually scary. That might be a reason to not play as many high levels. Just so we don't get the turn 1 brick. I mean, this is just to set everything pass. If we go second, we would draw this. We would activate the skill. then we could either add to hand, which would probably not really accomplish much. But let's say we add V-Friend here, right? We could tribute over one of these. So let's say we tribute over the candy or something. Then we would mill 5 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing has changed with this. Because we don't have a level 7 in the graveyard to use Magical with. Because we could have just tributed like the Magical and had these two. And then if we had a 7, we could have gone summon, summon, use the effect, bring back a 7, but we don't have any 7s. Set shitty pass. Psychic Bros, we ain't getting into the tier list with this. Yeah. Let's go again. That's a hand. Right, so we'll draw for turn. Assuming we went second again, because turn 1 is just going to be setting cards anyway. We could activate the skill, grab. Probably just something to set. No, I think we just set everything. How does the skill work? Can we set the high levels? Normal summon / set. So we can set the level 6s. Which is actually... That could actually be really big. Join Tech looks better. So, right, the main primary difference here is V-Friend is really good. Right? That is the big difference. Because what you can do with this deck that you can't do with Join Tech is I could activate 1 or 2 copies of Jamp Check and then summon 2 or 3 copies of V-Friend, wipe out your entire board, and attack you for game. And Join Tech really struggles to deal with set monsters. That's where like V-Friend is like a lot better. The downside is this deck is entirely reliant on V-Friend. If V-Friend isn't there dealing with your opponent's threats, what are you realistically doing? Like, maybe you're going like Giftarist boost and attacking for 32. That's about it. And all of our cards have 0 defense, so we get absolutely bullied by spellcasters and potentially, not always because they have to hard draw the Trombo, but potentially Wind Warriors. Because like, if your opponent goes like Ballet, summon Divine Breath, then slaps down the Trombo, flips your 0 defense to defense, discards 3 cards, and then goes up to 6,000 piercing, and you're just like, yes, I lose. Once you have the pieces engraved, V-Friend is stupidly OP. You can just mill 1, pop a card. Yeah. I mean, that's the logic, right? The whole point of this, the way that we're trying to build this is get this online as quickly as possible, and then just use a combination of these 2 cards to win the game. I think I would test this. But again, until you're actually playing with it, like test hands is one thing, but you don't really get a vibe for how it's going to feel. So I think I'm okay with this. Alright. The last thing I did want to do is tier list. This is going to be like a prediction tier list, basically. We're going to see about where we think things are going to end up. And also, I had a lot of people say they didn't like my last tier list. But I think most of those people skipped to the end of the video and then didn't actually hear any of the reasonings for it. And like me saying that I love Join Tech, so that one gets a high above. I think right now, and this keeps changing, I think right now I would probably list the decks like this. I think that is my tier 1, 2, and 3. Because it keeps changing, right? Like my opinion just keeps flip-flopping. It is either this or it's this, right? It's one of these. But part of me feels like it's this. You get to comfortably go in High Rogue now. I like Join Tech and High Rogue, you know. That can stay there. I mean, we can consult the data as well, right? Who doesn't love a bit of data? So, Light Galaxy, Hero, Spellcaster, Red Boot, Join Tech, Matarian, Miss Mutton. The fact that Miss Mutton, by the way, is now in the tier list, or in the spreadsheet, is wild. I 2-0'd Light Galaxy yesterday, clearly best deck. There you go then. That's all we need. Join Tech is the best deck. I think we can put this here. I think this is fine. I don't know what I feel about Matarin, you know. Baseball was a really weird one as well. Part of me, I don't want to put baseball in Rogue. That's the thing. Wait, did Miss Mutton top? Yep. We have, I believe it was Monosync to thank for that. Where is it? Well, we say top. It got top 8, right? Which, for a lot of people, they don't consider top 8 as topping because we have quite small turnouts. But, you know. Miss Mutton. Everyone loves it. Baseball tier 3? So, right. Just to put this into context, right? If we also fix that so it looks a little bit better. Baseball has had no top 4s in the latest format. It's had no top 8s in the latest format. So it has seen 0 play. Like, literally nothing. And yet you think it's on par with Spellcasters. The 2-0 Quantum did yesterday? Oh yeah. That was also really fun to watch, by the way. Like, Quantum, it did the meet and greed. In fact, do we have that? I'm going to find it. I'm going to look for it. One sec. It's worth spending the time to go find it. Alright. We're looking. This shouldn't take too long. Because it was fairly recent. Only happened yesterday. Thank you for the follow. Luke Lockdown. Alright, come on. We've got to find it. We've got to find it. Have I missed it? No. No, we must have missed it, right? Because this is now 2 days ago. Oh, how did I skip it? How did I miss it? No! I had one job! And I've let everyone down by taking even more time than I needed to. Okay, we'll find it. We'll find it. We'll find it. Don't worry. Where is it? Is it deleted? I swear I saw it in this chat, and now it's just gone. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. We found it. We found it. We found it, guys. Everyone stop panicking. Alright, what's the best way to show this? That's the next question. Can I just open this with... No, I can't. Alright. What if I do this? Right, this is like the jankest way to do this possible. But we're going to show it off. Turn that off for now.
I didn't know that.
Oh, this was so good.
Dude, and we're going Pearson. And meet and greet? What?
This is our world champion, ladies and gentlemen.
Light Galaxy, where we clearly had the better deck here. Holy frick.
It's so good. So good. So good. Like, literal just peak. There was no way to top that, man. It was so, so good. Filter Soromir messages in Quantum's Discord. I mean, I should have done that, really. Actual custom hand. It was so good. So good. It's how you become the world champion, right? Is you can just sit there, meme with Miss Mutton, and absolutely destroy someone who's actually trying. It's so good. So good. Like, I absolutely love it so much. I love that Quantum is our world champion at the moment, by the way. It's going to feel really bad if Quantum isn't our world champion moving forward, because he is like such a meme lord, and I love it so much. But at the same time, it'd be really cool if we got anyone else as the world champion as well, right? I think Parko would be a great champion, Giorfio, Zenzo, any of them would be absolutely fantastic. By the way, I voted him. Bold man. It's so funny he thought it was Heroes at first when he saw Circulation. I mean, you would though, wouldn't you? Like, it's a fair judgment to make. I think this goes here. All right, then we get to like the new stuff, right? I think this is sort of how I see the meta now. I don't know if anything here glaringly looks out of place. It's like when I think of the Worlds decks, like the decks that people are taking to Worlds, I'm thinking it's probably like these, right? It's going to be some combination of these decks. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Who did you vote for speed? I voted for El Ikan, or what do we call it? Loserfish? Lame Joel? What were the other nicknames people had for him? And then the other one I voted for is Paris, because Paris is on my team, and therefore I have to represent the boy. Also, Paris is just one of the best speed players in the world, so he's got that going for him as well. Those are my votes. I think that there are obviously some other players that have a really, really good chance of winning. But I've got to rep the people from the community, right? I've always got to support the boys. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Right. Where are we putting these? I kind of think this is going to be in High Rogue overall. This is where it gets weird, because I kind of think we might be seeing something along these lines. This is the, like, piercing skill, by the way. Like, the generic one. I don't know, like that? Kind of? I don't know. It's really hard without actually playing the decks, but based on what we know, based on seeing the cards, based on our, like, initial deck building, like, obviously you could move these around a bit, right? Like, I don't know, maybe this could move up to, like, here or something. Maybe move these around as well. Because the other thing is, I don't know if this is too high. I think if the Music Princess deck does its thing, right? If it gets to its fusions, if it finds Trombo to play around the back row, if it gets to play the game, I think it could be really, really strong. The issue is it always going to do that? Because the thing is, this deck has Elemental Circulation to find all its pieces every time it needs them. This deck doesn't have that, so it's not necessarily going to be as consistent as Heroes. So this might end up being down here. Like, it very well could be. It's really hard to say. I think because of the lack of consistency, I might leave it down here. I think until this skill gets nerfed, or they get, like, some very severe limits, I don't think Light Galaxy's going anywhere. Like, it's so good. Like, if we take a look at the data right now, right? 37%. Next highest, 30%. That's a 7% difference. And then it's down another 7% to get to Spellcasters. Like, these are obviously, like, the 3 best decks, and they're all taking up large chunks. But there's still, like, such a large gap between them. And then, like, tournament wins, it's just like Galaxy and E-Hero. Like, nothing else is in there. I almost feel bad for Spellcasters, because they come close so many times. They just can't quite land it. I can't stick that landing. What are we cogging with tomorrow? Well, I've already cogged, so I can't do that. If you're asking about what you're going to cog with, I would like to see you cog with Psychics. I think that'd be cool. Hello, Tomato in chat. What limits you think would be good on the top 3? Alright, top 3. What limits would I like to see? Light Galaxy needs some of the power taken out of it, straight up. The problem is, what do we remove? I think the best options for Limit 3 in Light Galaxy would be both Trelio and Extraplorer. I think if you Limit 3 both of those cards, now you lack all of the turbo graveyard stuff, and now you can still fill the graveyard, but it's a lot more difficult. So you don't just, like, spam everything and get to do exactly what you want. You now kind of are forced to use the skill to make your boats, or you're forced to use the skill to get your secret orders. You can't just do it all exactly as you want to. I don't think you need to change anything beyond that. I think that would be fine. So, again, Trilio to try and stop the turbo milling. And we limit Boat, because Boat is just so good. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think you need to touch Eve. I think Eve is fine. There isn't really much else to hit in that deck. So I think that's fine. I would just hit those two. For Heroes... Heroes is in a weird spot. You probably limit 2 or limit 3 elemental circulation. No, limit 1. I don't think you need it. They don't have access to pot. The thing is, like, what could you limit 1 in that deck, right? Like, realistically, we're not limiting Eternal because it's a box you are. So that's not happening. Like, no matter how much we want that to happen, that's not happening. You could limit, like, Plasma, but then that really hurts the deck, like, really bad. I don't really mind them having access to pot. If anything, I would actually move pot 2-3. Put pot at limit 3. That would be really funny, because now the limit 3 decks are like, what? I want to use pot. It's like, something's got to go then. Circulation at 3 to clash with Stargate Start. Potentially. Or, like I say, you put it at 2 just to take a copy away. Not to, like, force them off of anything else. Just to literally be like, no, just one less consistency tool. Because the big thing with Heroes is, the deck itself is, like, it's okay, but it's not crazy outside of turboing through everything and finding a way to get 2 Shining Flares on the board. If you're not doing exactly that, the deck's kind of whatever. So, like, just take away some of the ability to do that. And then I think the deck's fine. And this might be controversial. I don't really think we need to touch spellcasters. I think if we touch anything, we just give them a limit 3. And that just takes Ghost Cyclone away from them. And that's it. And then you just leave the deck as it is. And if you're going to give them a limit 3, I don't know, Strange Witch. Strange Witch could be at limit 3. That's fine. Nothing really changes. Hit Circ for Heroes, maybe Argent if they don't do Circ. Hitting Argent feels weird, though. Like, you could hit Argent, but, like, the deck doesn't need Argent. It's just a nice tool that they have. Like, a lot of the time, Argent doesn't even hit. Can we unhit Ice Pot Bear and Yggdrago? Rebuff Infinite D-Dive. The thing is, what do we do with an unhit Yggdrago? Like, what does that allow you to play? Like, what limit 3 are you wanting to put into your Cyburst deck? Limiting the Starry Star also hurts the circulation as less recycling, so I think Miracle to 3 is fine. I don't hate Miracle to 3, because that also preemptively hits it for when they do decide to give us more Miracles. Good old Ghost Cyclone. Do you need Ghost Cyclone? Like, does that matter? I would just limit the extra tech monsters because they rely on summoning so many of those and keep recycling. Having less options of the fusions would basically, over time, force the opponent to a win because the opposing player is slowly getting rid of all the hero player's resources. I mean, the thing is, the extra tech monsters is just Argent. Like, most decks aren't even playing anything else at this point. Like, some people are still on Dealer. Some people are playing, like, Antalum, but like for the most part. My idea is to limit the fusion monsters in some way. The thing is, hero players are already hamstrung so much by having such a small extra deck. It is actually really hard, where we have players going back and forth over like, am I playing 2 Burst? Am I playing 2 Flame Wingman? Am I playing 2 Shining Flare? Am I playing 2 Voltic? And there are so many options, and there isn't like a definite correct answer. That's the most annoying thing. I've still subscribed to playing 2 Shining Flare is the way. It's such a strong win con. It's just a really, really powerful turn, and it's really fun. So, like, I'm all for the double Shining Flare, but there are some players that are just like, nah, double Shining Flare's bad. Like, you should be not do that. Play, like, 3 copies of Burst for the extra control factor. Or you should play 2 copies of Voltic, because that gives you extra toolbox options, right? There's so many different ways to build the deck. Imagine if Heroes had, like, a 15-card extra deck, right? You could do so much more with that deck, which is actually kind of scary. Right now, they are really hamstrung. See the graveyard and wait to see 2 of the same monster, then trap all the 3rd. Easy. Easy clap. Just have the perfect setup and the perfect way to play around everything. And then everything is K. But I think I like this. So my expectation is, after Worlds, this has to be nerfed. We can't let this keep being here, right? It can still be tier 1, but like our ideal is like this, right? This would be probably what I want to see after Worlds, because then all of a sudden this happens, right? Like maybe something like this would happen, and that's what I want. That's a good meta, right? This looks fun. This looks engaging. People are still going to be like, I hate these decks. They've been around for too long. They're still really crazy strong. But if they're at least at the same power level, it would feel a lot nicer than just, man, Light Galaxy sure is strong, huh? I don't play competitive. I'm just trying to stay in the conversation. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Cat limit 3, Eve Fusion limit 3, Miracle Fusion limit 3, Beyond Skill Change. This is fine. You think just Eve Fusion to 3 would be enough? I don't. I legit think you put Trileo and Boat to 3. Because you could still just play like 3 Boat, right? You could still just do that. Now you're just taking Secret Order out of the deck. I think that's probably what you would do, because Boat is really, really good. Like, I think if we put Boat to 3, that's now your limit 3 card, right? You're now, everything else that we put to limit 3 is being removed from the deck. What are limits or buffs you want to see? I mean, I'd like to see buffs on everything. Like, Cyber Dragon Unlimit would be nice, but I don't think it really changes much. Part of me wants to see Star Trancer unhit, but the problem is it just, like, makes Dark Galaxy feel really, really good, because now it's just, like, Star Trancer plus Chrysaor is, like, an OTK a lot of the time. A 3-deck tier 1 would be nice. I mean, that's always what I strive for, right? Thank you for following the Kubile. Kubie? We're going to go with that. We're going to go with that. Miracle Fusion, limit 3. Wouldn't Cirque be better? I mean, you could do both. That could be fun. Are we going to talk about Celestial Warrior? Because I'm pretty sure the deck was never good. It was okay for a bit. The problem Celestial Warrior has is it's still a Floodgate deck, and Konami have been really anti-Floodgate. That's why I'm kind of amazed we're getting this guy. Because the only thing to really fix this deck is to unlimit Yami Ruler, Yami Tarasu, and if you really want to help the deck out, you have to unlimit both. I think that's the big thing, because you need to play Star Restart in this deck. So, like, there's just so many things you need to do with it. The deck can't use its own support with a skill. Yeah, that does kind of suck as well. I mean, that's just a simple change though, right? Light Galaxy needs main deck limits more than extra deck ones. So I did subscribe to the extra deck limits when the box was new because I didn't think they would hit main or like box SRs, and a lot of the extra deck cards were rares. That's why I specifically voted for that then. I said this every list, but Shining City Knights are limited. Nah, this is too overpowered, Serena. You don't understand. It would break the game. It would absolutely shatter the metagame. Hello, Pixie. Welcome on in. Eve can be made easier and has more plussing if you still need it in the extra to help make Oblivion pushes, but that's what Order does, so better to limit that OTK pushing power. The thing is, taking Order out of the deck is good, I think, but I like the idea of making both, because I think there are some worlds, like I only play 2 Galactiara Fuse Eve, so like that wouldn't matter too much to me. I could drop it down to 1, because most of the time you're only fusing it once anyway, typically. The only time I would need more than 1 is if I also lose Secret Order. If you lose Secret Order, now it's like, well, now I'm more reliant on Galactiara Fuse Eve to do my big plays, right? It's like it would be good again. I mean, we're predicting it high rogue. There is a chance this could be higher, right? There's also a chance it could be lower. This is where I'm predicting it to be at the moment, but we'll see. We'll have to see. Sydra's skill needs to be updated in general. Allow them to run Innovator and grab Fusion repeatedly without the cost. The problem is, they're going to keep releasing more Cyber Dragon cards as we go. Cyber Dragon is a very strong deck without a skill, straight up. So the problem I think that they're running into is, if they buff the skill a bunch and then give us a bunch more Cyber Dragon support cards, it could be kind of broken. It's like when Hero got their new support cards. Everyone was like, yeah, but without a new skill, the deck's still not going to be like very good. And then the deck was incredible, even without a new skill, right? So if you just release the right Cyber Dragon cards, Cyber Dragon might skyrocket all the way up here, right? But we don't have those cards. Like, if they gave us, like, Cyber Rush Fusion, even at, like, 1 copy, that could happen. Genuinely could. Like, it's kind of crazy how much can just happen, like, if they just give us the right cards. It's just right now, they're, like, drip feeding us. They're like, here's Processor. We were like, okay, Processor's cool. It doesn't really fix the issues. And it's like, oh, here's Tactical and Cyber Serpent. I'm like, okay, again, we're getting there. Slowly getting better. Still not quite the push we were looking for. Gaia Skill needs a buff? Yeah, I think Gaia Skill could use a buff, personally. I say Miracle Fusion number 3 to stop Wind Warrior having too many blowout 1-card things. No, that's fine. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. Let the Wind Warriors have their things. Igdrago is a cover card on limit. Last time Gaia Skill was strong, we had 97% Gaia format. The thing is, everyone knows why the Gaia Skill was busted. It was a twofold problem of being able to play the Matari and shit in it, and having the skill give you an instant +2, which was 2/3 of a fusion. We fixed both of those, and then still took 300 attack off the skill for no reason. And it was like, why have you done this? Like, if we just let them keep that 600 boost, I think the deck would be... it would have fallen behind, realistically. It's not as good as these decks. But it would have been, like, somewhat competitive, at least. It would have still been in the picture. I'm still coping on Assault Lifetime Mission to make the fusion easier. That would be cool. There's a lot of stuff that we could get, though. There's a lot of Cyber Dragon support that we just haven't got yet. And again, they're just, like, really drip-feeding it. Gaia can at least have its 600 back. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel as well. We completed the Selection Box Volume 2 reprints. You know what that means. Volume 4 on its way. I mean, unironically, it could be. Last year, we got a Selection Box on the 1st of October. So they could just do that. Because they were like, here is a Structure Deck, and another Structure Deck, and a Mini Box, and another Mini Box, and then for the hell of it, here's a Selection Box as well. We were like, my gems cannot handle this. This is too much. Matarian best deck. Gaia can be restored semi except locking the extra. I think we keep it basically as it is. except we just give the boost. I would even put the boost higher than 600. I would put it up to 800. I would just give Gaia a new card, right? Because Gaia, again, has so many good cards. You can't give them battle-tested Curse of Dragon, because that would break the deck. But you could give them, like... it's so awkward. Like, part of me is like, give them a second Conqueror of Champions, but then... That's just kind of an OTK, right? Because, well, it's not... It's like a very slow OTK. It's a 2-turn OTK. So really, it's a 2TK. Or a TTK. Which is still really good. A lot of the Gaia cards are really good. I think that's the issue, is Gaia is quite a strong deck right now in the OCG. Like, it's not anything like crazy good, but it's like, it's playable. It's decent. It's got a lot of power behind it. And people have started mixing Gaia in with the Chaos Ritual stuff. So it's like, got new life breathed into it there. So it does make it very difficult. It really does. But, with that said, and on the somber music, guess what, guys? It's 4 o'clock, which means this is unfortunately where our stream is going to have to end. I did expect us not to be able to get onto Reverse Massacres today, but we will be doing that again at some point. So I can't stream tomorrow. I'm going to be working tomorrow. So our next stream is going to be on Tuesday. I'm sure there will be other Rush streamers streaming tomorrow, so you can watch their streams, watch them open the packs, watch them build their new decks, watch them try it out. Hopefully someone will do a duel room. I might be able to play some of the games tomorrow. I just can't stream tomorrow. If someone does stream and someone does a duel room, I'll probably try and join that. But we'll see. Because I don't know who's streaming. I don't know if, like, Hikari's streaming tomorrow. I don't know if, like, anyone is streaming tomorrow. But if anyone is, you know, I'll happily do that. But yeah, thank you all guys for watching. And Rarity, you're streaming later, right? You're streaming in a couple of hours, I think. So I'll try and make sure to catch that as well. But yeah, thank you guys. And I will catch you on Tuesday. Goodbye!